Chapter 364. Lu Guiying, 49 years old, has worked in the street office for many years. Although she usually speaks with a loud voice, she is actually a kind old lady who is rough on the outside, but kind on the inside. She lost her husband when she was young. She worked hard to raise a daughter who was studying in the Academy of Fine Arts. She was good at painting and beautiful. Her neighbors all said she was lucky. In fact, every family has its own difficulties. She has always said it in front of others. How can she complain to outsiders about the hard work of raising her daughter and the high tuition fee of the Academy of Fine Arts? However, no matter how hard it is, God will always reward kind people. After years of hard work, her daughter was admitted to the Academy of Fine Arts. Although the tuition fee is not cheap, Lu Guiying's daughter is really talented in painting. Until the year before last, Lu Guiying was found to have diabetes. This is a torturous disease. It won't kill you right away. It is really a long-term money hole. Not to mention taking insulin, she also needs to pay attention to what she eats. The monthly medical expenses are a large amount. Part of it can be reimbursed by medical insurance. However, coupled with her daughter's high tuition fee, it still makes the family with only Lu Guiying working hard to make ends meet. She was mentally strong at first and insisted on treatment. Until the year before last, the doctor said that the disease had metastasized to the eyes due to the complications of diabetes. If the eyeballs were not removed, her life would be in danger. Lu Guiying feels that the sky suddenly collapses. She doesn't want to be blind, let alone be a burden to her daughter. If both eyeballs are removed, it means that she will have to retire immediately. She can't save enough money for the tuition fee of the Academy of Fine Arts only with her retirement salary. To be blind or to wait for death. Lu Guiying has been a widow for most of her life. She is reluctant to die before seeing her only daughter succeed in her studies and get married. But if she chooses to live, she is doomed to never see the light of the world again. She tossed and turned during those days. The doctor also said that even if the eyeballs are removed, there is no guarantee that it will not relapse. She still needs to take medicine for a long time to control it. By then, can she afford her daughter's education and her own medical treatment with her retirement salary alone? Lu Guiying realizes that she can't hide her illness anymore and confesses to her daughter, who is studying in the capital. Lu Xinyo rushes back from the capital overnight. Seeing her mother who has lost a lot of weight, the mother and daughter hold their heads and cry together. After crying, Lu Xinyo decides to remove the eyeballs to save her mother's life. She had some talent in painting and would usually consign some of her exercises to the gallery. However, because she was talented, she was naturally a little arrogant. She would set a high price. Who would pay for an unknown painter? It is common for her to sell one in a few months. As for computer graphics and design, it was nothing in the eyes of people like her who studied drawing. The part-time job that she looked down upon in the past is now a life-saving straw. Lu Xinyo comforts Lu Guiying and asks her to contact the hospital to prepare for the operation. She goes back to the capital to sell paintings and raise money for the part-time job. Lu Guiying is convinced. She thinks that she will have the regret in her heart. Will and will. Will and will. Will she will. Of ago she thought. Sighed. Basis she. And she will. And her. And old she old of. She of she. She wants to see the Dongting landscape on behalf of her husband. Lu Guiying regards this as the last trip of her life. She goes to Yayang Tower and sees the vastness of Dongting. Her worry about the operation dissipates a lot. She also hears from other tourists that the incense in Mount June is very efficacious. Lu Guiying buys a boat ticket and goes all the way to Mount June. She doesn't expect that there are so many tourists in such a small Mount June. It is so crowded. She is a little disappointed and worships the Xiangfei temple. She hears others say that the most efficacious one is the Lui well. The auspicious light on Mount June comes from this well. Thinking that her future is unknown after the operation, she really buys incense and worships it devoutly. She only prays that the merciful Bodhisattva can bless Lu Xinyo to complete her studies smoothly and have a happy future. When Lu Guiying worships the incense and candles devoutly, she just believes in it. Unexpectedly, the surprise makes her a real believer. At that time, She finishes burning the incense and is about to leave. A girl with a pure appearance asks her what year and month it is. Lu Guiying doesn't think much at that time. She just thinks that young people are muddle-headed and nags her for a while. Unexpectedly, the girl disappears in a blink of an eye. Lu Guiying is confused for a while. Then it rains above Mount June. The golden spiritual rain falls into Lu Guiying's eyes. She feels that her blurred vision seems to be clearer. Hearing other people say something about spiritual rain, Lu Guiying's heart is pounding. Are there really gods, Buddhas, and immortals in this world? No one is sure. Now cultivators have been confirmed. Her daughter Lu Xinyo searches for various videos taken by others on the internet all day long. People of Wuxia all want to knock on the gate of immortality. They still don't know the effect of spiritual rain. Anyway, there is no harm, right? Lu Guiying is desperate. She opens her mouth regardless of her image, and holds her hands to catch the golden spiritual rain falling from the sky. It is sweet with a medicinal fragrance. This may be really good stuff. Lu Guiying's more exaggerated action than others also benefits her more. At that time, she feels that her body tortured by the disease is much lighter. After the spiritual rain falls, a female voice rings over Mount June. To appreciate your sincerity, I specially send spiritual rain to wash the dust. No matter how long it takes, Lu Guiying will clearly remember these words and this voice. When she looks up again, in the blurred water mirror above Mount June, others can only see that it is a fairy of heaven in colorful clothes. However, Lu Guiying recognizes the outline at a glance. It is clearly the woman who just asked her what year it is now. It turns out that she is a fairy of heaven. No wonder she doesn't know the time of the mortal world. What a great chance. Lu Guiying kneels down devoutly. It must be the mortal heart fairy, who appreciates her devotion to burning incense. Therefore, she shows up and sends the spiritual rain to help many believers who are sick like her among the pilgrims. Lu Guiying worships the fairy. When she returns to her hometown, she insists that she has met an immortal. Her daughter Lu Xinyo only thinks that she has fallen into the MLM organization and is brainwashed. After finishing her work, she comes back from the capital and takes stubborn Lu Guiying to the hospital for examination. Her diabetes is not completely cured, but the lesions have subsided and the indexes are also close to normal. That is to say, there is no need for surgery to remove the eyeball. Lu Guiying is more and more sure that it is a true immortal. Lu Xinyo also becomes skeptical. She knows how serious her mother's illness is. MLM organizations don't guarantee treatment. Although her diabetes is not completely cured, it is true that her eyes do not need to be removed. Among the pilgrims who witnessed the miracle in Mount June at that time, Lu Guiying is probably the only one who has seen the true appearance of the fairy. She pesters her daughter to draw the fairy for worship. Occasionally, there are a few photos on the internet. The colorful clothes are flying. According to Lu Guiying's high requirements, Lu Xinyo draws and changes again and again. It takes her half a month to draw mortal heart fairy, at least 80%. Lu Guiying's illness is under control, and she still goes to work in the street office. However, she hangs the portrait of mortal heart fairy in the study. The elder sister burns incense every morning and evening, and she is very pious. Not only did she burn incense piously, but she also liked to nag in front of the portrait whenever she was happy. Whenever she encountered difficulties at work, she would pour out a few words to the fairy. It was as if she had a backbone and the courage to face difficulties. With Lu Guiying's knowledge, she certainly doesn't understand that this is actually the backfeeding of the power of faith. People with faith always have more courage to face life. This is something that people who muddle through life can't understand. If life is always smooth, cultivators probably don't have to pursue the path of immortality. They have to compete to be true immortals in the world. Lu Guiying feels that life is getting better and better. However, Lu Xinyo fainted when she was doing part-time work this spring, and was sent to the hospital. Leukemia. Lu Guiying fainted immediately when she saw the diagnosis. What if she wakes up? She has to cure it. No matter how much money it costs, she has to cure it. Her daughter is so talented at the same age. She doesn't even have time to fall in love. Does she want her to wait for death? While undergoing chemotherapy, She waits for a suitable bone marrow match. Lu Xinyo's classmates donated a sum of money for the medical expenses, which is a drop in the bucket during chemotherapy. Lu Guiying plans to sell her house for a transplant when she has a suitable bone marrow. Half a year has passed. Lu Xinyo, who used to be healthy and beautiful, has been tortured by chemotherapy. Losing her hair is only one of the reasons. She is so thin that she vomits whatever she eats during chemotherapy. Lu Guiying has insomnia all night and hair loss as if she is the one who has leukemia. If this is all, Lu Guiying feels that she can still hold on. However, bad news came from the hospital last night. Lu Xinyo's condition has changed. She must have a bone marrow transplant immediately. Otherwise, she may not be able to live for 3 days. Bone marrow transplant. She has waited for half a year, but there is no suitable bone marrow match. Will it suddenly appear in 3 days? Lu Guiying hangs up the phone. She is so anxious that she spits a mouthful of blood on the offering table with the incense and candle in her hand. Merciful fairy, have you seen the suffering of your believers? I beg you, please have mercy and save my little daughter. Lu Guiying is desperate. She doesn't want to give up the last straw. She struggles to get up and kowtows to the portrait. Kowtowing and begging, her forehead is soon broken. The blood of a loving mother and the devout faith. She doesn't even dare to think about how she will bear the grief of losing her daughter after losing her husband in the early years, if she can't get the fairy's response. She is not the most powerful person among the fairies who believe in mortal heart fairy. Nor is she the richest or the one who can buy expensive offerings. Lu Guiying, 49 years old, is just an ordinary old lady who has worked in the street office for many years. She is the most ordinary member of the working class in Wuxia, but she was the only one who painted Mortal Heart Fairy into a painting scroll after returning from Mount June, and hung it in the study. She offered incense every day without stopping. Her pious heart of faith had long been connected with the object she believed in across space. She is the most devout believer with a small force but a sincere heart. Chapter 365. Tick-tock, 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 the sound of the clock. With every passing second, it was as if the Grim Reaper was approaching. The red light of the emergency room is still on. Lu Guiying buries her face in her knees and her shoulders shake slightly. Finally, someone opens the door of the emergency room, and the doctors come out with tired faces. Lu Guiying suddenly looks up. "Doctor, how is my daughter?" The attending doctor is used to seeing life and death. At this time, looking at this middle-aged woman's sunken eyes and bloodshot eyes, his cold heart can't help but feel a little strange. Although we have saved her from this infection, we also found that she has a tendency of intracranial hemorrhage. If there is no matching bone marrow in these 2 days, you have to be mentally prepared. Lu Guiying's legs soften, and she almost falls to the ground. In the past few months, she has learned a lot of common sense because of Lu Xinyo's illness. Infection and intracranial hemorrhage are the most likely to kill patients in the treatment process of acute leukemia. The former has been improved and the death rate of acute leukemia caused by infection is very low. However, there is no ideal treatment for intracranial hemorrhage. It is the most important cause of death of acute leukemia. The doctor says that Lu Xinyo has a tendency of intracranial hemorrhage, which is a death sentence. Lu Guiying shivers and waits for half an hour before she feels a little strength. She changes into sterile clothes and enters the ward. Lu Xinyo's face is so thin that it is only the size of a palm. She lies on the bed with tubes all over her body. She can't eat anymore and only relies on the nutrient solution to keep her alive. Lu Guiying sits down by her daughter's bed. Yu. Lu Xinyo's eyelids move, but she can't open her eyes. Lu Guiying's tears are like a faucet that can't be turned off. She feels like she has fallen into an ice cave. It is a hot July day, but she is shivering with cold. Maybe the hospital also thinks that this patient has no hope of survival. When Lu Guiying is sitting there, only one nurse comes to record the data and change the nutrient solution. The ward is so deserted. As for Lu Guiying herself, she has completely lost her soul. Mother and daughter are connected. In such a close place, she can feel that Lu Xinyo's vitality is gradually fading even without looking at the physical index. Although she didn't believe it, She had a feeling that her daughter might not be able to survive the night. She has been holding Lu Xinyo's hand and feels that her body temperature is very cold. Lu Guiying doesn't think about eating at all. If Lu Xinyo can't survive tonight, she may not want to live anymore. It's better to cross the bridge of helplessness together and reunite as a family. She sat there in a daze, not knowing when the sky had darkened. It was already 1 o'clock in the morning, and there was suddenly light in the dark ward. Lu Guiying's dull eyes were dazzled by the light, and she finally reacted. 2 young men in their late teens stood before the bed. One of them studied the medical records on the bedside table and asked in surprise, "Excuse me, are you Madame Lu Guiying who lives in Happiness neighborhood in Jiang City's Furong district?" Lu Guiying didn't know the 2 young people in front of her. She held her daughter's hand tightly and looked at them blankly. Because the 2 young men were gentle and kind, she did not scream immediately. "Oh, our visit may be too abrupt. May I ask if there is a female fairy with the Taoist name Mortal Heart in your family?" Lu Guiying held her breath. She didn't publicize the fact that she worshipped Mortal Heart Fairy because of her daughter's reminder. How did these 2 young men know it? She nodded unconsciously. One of the young men breathed a sigh of relief. He took out a valuable jade bottle from his arms, poured out a fragrant pill, opened Lu Xinyo's mouth and let her swallow it. The other young man began to pull out the tubes on Lu Xinyo, including the 4 drip. Lu Guiying finally reacted and shouted angrily, "Who are you? What are you going to do to my daughter?" She rushed up to push away the young man who was trying to pick up Lu Xinyo. The young man was stunned. "Get out, all of you get out. No one is allowed to touch my daughter. She is fine. She will get better." Wu. Lu Guiying was a little crazy. She was not sober and regarded the 2 young men as hospital staff. Lu Xinyo was still alive and they wanted to make room for her. That was too much. "Aunt Lu, you are mistaken. Let's put it this way. Did you make a great wish in front of Mortal Heart Fairy to save your daughter?" Lu Guiying was stunned and stared at the young man in disbelief. The young man's eyes were very gentle and calm. He didn't seem to be lying. Was it really the fairy's mercy that she heard her suffering? As a nobody, Lu Guiying knew very well what she was worth. She also knew that she seldom offered offerings except incense. How could Mortal Heart Fairy suddenly hear her wish? Seeing that she still didn't believe it, the young man didn't explain. He opened the window and let her look out. A big golden eagle stayed in the air. The ward was on the 11th floor. The golden eagle stayed outside the window as if waiting for them. "This is..." Lu Guiying's eyes widened. "Isn't this the mysterious eagle of Wuxia that was very popular a few years ago? Why is it here?" Although the golden eagle in front of her had a small crown and a bigger body, it was no different from the mysterious eagle of Wuxia in other aspects. "We are going to take your daughter to Mount June for treatment. We can get there in half an hour by eagle. With all due respect, your daughter can't afford any delay." The young man gently picked up Lu Xinyo, seemingly effortless. Lu Guiying was stupefied and watched him carefully step on the eagle's back. Another young man came here on a sword. "Haven't you made it clear? Saving people is more important. Brother Yuan, I'll take your flying sword. Let Aunt Lu sit on Goldie's back." At this time, Lu Guiying's heart was sensitive and fragile. It was really not suitable to be separated from Lu Xinyo. Only by letting her stay with her daughter would she be able to fully trust them. Huang Weijian thought carefully, and Yuan Yi nodded in agreement. A gust of wind sent Lu Guiying to Goldie's back. Goldie flapped its wings. She was so scared that she clutched the golden feathers tightly. After thinking for a while, she still dared to hold her daughter's hand with one hand. "Well, it seems to be a little warm." Lu Guiying remembers that the young man in front of her once gave Lu Xinyo a fragrant pill. Now she knows that it must be the elixir that works. This ordinary mother doesn't know how to thank him. Her usual hearty and loud voice are gone, and her words are intermittent. "My surname is Lin. Aunt Lu, you can call me Lin." Lin Luodong saw her embarrassment and took the initiative to chat with her. They were not familiar with each other. Lin Luodong just wanted to relieve her tension of flying in the night sky. They didn't have a topic. Lu Guiying poured out her long-suppressed sadness, and Lin Luodong comforted her at appropriate times. Half an hour passed quickly. When they arrived at Mount June, Lu Guiying still had tears on her face. This time, she remembered that she hadn't asked the young man surnamed Lin why he suddenly appeared in the ward on behalf of Mortal Heart Fairy. However, she didn't dare to ask more about the secrets of immortals. In the quiet night of Mount June, she followed several people to Lui Well. The face of Mortal Heart Fairy appeared on the water surface. Lu Guiying's previous hesitation disappeared. Fairy is so kind. I am a believer. I really can't repay you. Lu Guiying's forehead was still wrapped with gauze. She wanted to kneel down and kowtow again. Yuan Yi supported her. Grandmaster doesn't care about these empty courtesies. You don't have to do this. The water of Lu Yiwell was separated. Yuan Yi took the unconscious Lu Xinyo from Lin Luodong and walked down the well. The elixir could only temporarily prolong Lu Xinyo's life. If leukemia was so easy to cure, it wouldn't have become a medical problem. Lu Guiying had completely trusted them at this moment. She knew she was just a mortal woman, so she didn't dare to follow them in. Fortunately, the young man surnamed Lin and another young man with long bangs also stayed. It was also the first time for Yuan Yi to come to the Dragon Palace. He would have been very excited in normal times, but now it was a matter of life and death. He carried Lu Xinyo all the way through the main hall, the long corridor, and the huge side hall. They came to the brand new royal garden of the Dragon Palace. In front of a strange tree full of thorns, a shadow has been cast. Yuan Yi stood in the shadow. When he opened his eyes again, there was another world in front of him. The palace of Jiuhua. Is this the treasury of the Dragon Palace that Rong Donglin mentioned? Yuan Yi envied Rong for having been to the Dragon Palace before. He didn't have the chance to come here until a few years later. Yuan Yi carried Lu Xinyo and walked on the path. Go all the way. Lin's voice came from the depths of the palace. Yuan Yi took a breath and walked through the first palace, which was full of white mist. Rong said that this was the playground for children in the Dragon Palace. Everyone who came in had a chance to choose. Yuan Yi thought of the patient in his arms. He walked quickly through the temptations and came to the second palace. There were some messy lines on the stone floor. Yuan Yi took a look but didn't see anything special. He avoided them carefully and kept walking forward with Lu Xinyo in his arms. Yuan Yi didn't find his grandmaster Lin Luoran until he came to the seventh palace. Lin Luoran was squatting on the ground and drawing strange lines. The ground of these vast and boundless palaces was full of scratches and dots. It was the first time for Yuan Yi to see his young grandmaster slovenly. It seemed that she was immersed in a certain state. What is she calculating? Yuan Yi was very curious. He didn't disturb her but quietly watched the lines. After a while he felt dizzy and quickly calmed down. He knew that his personal ability was not high enough, so he didn't dare to look at it anymore. How is she? Lin Luoran suddenly asked. Yuan Yi checked Lu Xinyo's pulse and answered cautiously, Grandmaster, she is not very optimistic. She has been ill for a long time. The blood and qi in her body have dried up. She is only hanging on by the elixir. Lin Luoran finally raised her head. She clapped her hands and took her attention back from the endless deduction. It took her a while to regain her spirit. She didn't have to check the pulse like Yuan Yi. She could know Lu Xinyo's physical condition just by a glance. However, Lin Luoran didn't save Lu Xinyo immediately. She thought about it and asked Yuan Yi, how much do you know about leukemia? If we don't rely on the means of cultivators, is it possible to cure it with medicine? Yuan Yi immediately realized that the Grandmaster was finally going to let Lin's develop on a large scale. Yuan Yi was also a little excited. However, he had always been cautious and didn't make any promises. Grandmaster, if the research department of Lin's combines the ancient prescription, there should be a breakthrough in less than half a month. It will take 3 months for the effective medicine to come out. Lin Luoran smiled. 3 months is very fast. Put her down and I'll have a look. You go to the first palace to choose a gift. Don't be too greedy. Rong Donglin should have told you. Just treat it normally. Yuan Yi held back the excitement in his heart and put Lu Xinyo down carefully. This girl was so lucky. In the Grandmaster's hands, the incurable disease was not really incurable. Yuan Yi sighed silently. He carefully avoided the lines on the ground and went to the first palace to try his luck. Lin Luoran began to check Lu Xinyo's body. No wonder the power of faith was so desperate. It was not easy for Lu Guiying to have such a performance when her only daughter suffered from this incurable disease. Facing the request of her first devout believer, Lin Luoran had to take it seriously. Po was a little talkative and naggy tonight. I don't know if you noticed that Lin's had already written 1 million words when this chapter was updated. The book was published on April 28th. Today is December 28th. She wrote 1 million words in 8 months. Compared with high-yield writers, her speed was slow. However, Po wrote very hard. This is my first book with 1 million words. Now I'm in a wonderful mood, and I want to share it with you. I'm very happy to write 1 million words and I'll work harder. Chapter 366. Leukemia, also known as blood cancer, is a malignant disease of hematopoietic tissue. It is characterized by the unlimited proliferation of a large number of non-nucleated cells in bone marrow and other hematopoietic tissues. They enter the peripheral blood and obviously absorb the core of normal blood cells. If there is a problem with hematopoietic function, bone marrow transplantation becomes the most effective treatment. In fact, bone marrow cleansing is the best way to cure leukemia immediately. With Lin Luoran's personal ability of the bearing essence period, bone marrow cleansing is not difficult except consuming her wakan. However, she doesn't use this fastest way. It's not that she doesn't want wakan. For Lin Luoran, who has 4 golden elixirs running in the pubic region of the Sea of Reiki, the consumption of Reiki is not too much for her. There is a faster way, which is to use dragon marrow like regrowing a broken arm. Dragon marrow is precious, and it is not a special medicine that can be promoted. However, since Lin Luoran has the idea of letting Lin's pharmaceutical factory develop a special medicine, she can't just talk but do nothing. The girl named Lu Xinyo in front of her is under control. It should be no problem to observe her for a few days. When she is thinking about the treatment method, the reluctant and unruly wood wolf in the space sneers. Can't you just use bone marrow cleansing bolus? Are you willing to do it? Bone marrow cleansing bolus? Lin Luoran hears it for the first time, and asks wood wolf curiously. It is probably only willing to laugh at Lin Luoran, and is arrogant when she asks it to tell her the method. After being beaten by the arrogant fire phoenix, wood wolf becomes sad and honest. Bone marrow cleansing bolus is an elixir that can only be taken by cultivators with personal ability below the bearing essence period. The formula is complicated and the medicine is strict. However, it is an upper grade 6 elixir. Hearing that it is 2 grades higher than foundation laying bolus, Lin Luoran knows that it is impossible to promote this thing on a large scale. However, she is curious about how an elixir that can only be taken by cultivators with personal ability below the bearing essence period can reach the upper grade 6? You are ignorant. After taking the marrow cleansing bolus, cultivators below the level of bearing essence can catch up with those with 2 natures, even if they have the Taoist root of 3 natures. Marrow cleansing is not a simple thing. In ancient times, powerful people had deep bloodlines. It was common for some of their descendants to have a poor Taoist root. If there are people with a strong mind and painstakingly pursue the Tao, they can give them the marrow cleansing bolus as a reward. It is also a blessing. Before wood wolf finishes, Lin Luoran has a general understanding. Bone marrow cleansing bolus is the privilege of the Power X generation. In the ancient world of cultivation, it may not have any effect on cultivators in the bearing essence period. No wonder the so-called formula of bolus is so complicated, and the medicine used is so strict. It is still a grade 6 bolus. The fact that a person with the Taoist root of 3 natures could catch up with a person with the Taoist root of 2 natures was already enough to drive people crazy. This was especially so for those loose cultivators. If they had 3 elements, they would only be able to become outer sect disciples. If they had 2 elements, they would be able to enter the inner sect and receive guidance from famous teachers. Such a difference was enough to make those with poor Taoist foundations go crazy. Wood wolf sees that she sighs again and again, but doesn't ask about the formula of bolus. It is a little anxious. There are many people with 3 natures in your family. Don't you refine a few marrow cleansing boluses for them? Lin Luoran laughs. Why should I let them take the marrow-cleansing bolus? Wood Wolf is even more surprised. After being a monster for so many years, it feels that it has known the human race very well. They are greedy and selfish. Even people like Lin Luoran have their weaknesses. Doesn't she care about her relatives and friends very much? Hearing the existence of marrow-cleansing bolus, she should be eager to get the formula of bolus. Seeing Wood Wolf's expression, Lin Luoran knows what it is thinking. It is said that there is a real elixir above grade 9 bolus. One is enough to make people soar. You have been a monster for so many years. Have you ever seen such a magical thing? Wood Wolf shakes its head subconsciously. Lin Luoran says again. You have been a monster for so many years. Have you ever seen someone reach the peak of power by relying on all kinds of elixirs? Wood Wolf still shakes its head, but the way it looks at Lin Luoran has changed. Lin Luoran ignores it and points to the 2 acres of medicine field in space. I don't lack spirit medicine. I can even make a few laying foundation cultivators in a short time. Do you know why I didn't do that? Wood Wolf sighs. It thought Lin Luoran was a little cultivator who had never seen the world. However, it turns out that she is not easy to fool at all. People often lose their minds because of greed. Lin Luoran is not greedy. If taking elixirs can also make one immortal, won't so many cultivators who struggle to become immortals become a joke? She doesn't believe that such a cultivator can finally be ranked among the immortals and become the most carefree true immortal in the world. If the process of pursuing the immortal Tao was seen as a grand cultivation, where there were all kinds of pills, all kinds of famous teachers, all kinds of cultivation techniques, and all kinds of magical treasures, how could a cultivator with such rich innate conditions prove his true self in the process of cultivation? Every advancement requires a breakthrough in the state of mind. Lin Luoran's personal experience tells her that taking elixirs can only make the early cultivation of cultivators extremely smooth. When it comes to the big hurdle of bearing essence, without the corresponding state of mind, the chance of success is too slim. Old Taoist Huizhu has been stuck in the late stage of laying foundation for many years. For others, it may be because Reiki is not abundant enough. However, Qingqing Taoist temple used to own a small wood Reiki mine. Huizhu didn't bear essence. Maybe there is something wrong with his state of mind, and some knot in his heart hasn't been untied. Cultivation. The lifespan of cultivators in the training qi period doesn't change. It can be seen that the training qi period is the real preparation of cultivation. The lifespan of 200 years in the laying foundation period can give people more time to pursue the Tao of nature leisurely. This is the real threshold of cultivation. As for the bearing essence period, the lifespan is as long as 500 years. It is standing within the threshold. Hey, I give you the formula of bone marrow cleansing bolus. You don't want it? Wood Wolf sees that Lin Luoran doesn't take it. It is so angry that it gives her the bolus for free. Lin Luoran looks indifferent. Wood Wolf raises its hand and puts a ball of light between her eyebrows. Lin Luoran closes her eyes and ponders for a while. She opens her eyes and smiles. It seems to be a real formula. Little Wood Wolf, you are indeed the little boss of the monster wolf family. You have saved a lot of good stuff. Looking at Lin Luoran's happy face, Wood Wolf says in a muffled voice, Are you not willing to give this bone marrow cleansing bolus to the Lin family? It has a bad feeling. It has lived for so many years, and it is going to make a mistake for the second time. Lin Luoran raises her eyebrows. Who says I want to use it on my family? With this formula, it should be easy to cure leukemia, right? Little Wood Wolf, you are so kind-hearted. Thank you. I will thank you later. Thank you so much. Lin Luoran knows that she deserves a beating if she still pretends to be nice after getting a bargain. She flashes out of the space. The deceived Wood Wolf was first petrified and then flew into a rage. Fire Phoenix doesn't hide its schadenfreude. Sure enough, under its training, Lin Luoran is no longer the little cultivator who is easy to be deceived. This time, Wood Wolf gives away the formula of the bolus for free. It doesn't even have time to talk about the plan. It can be seen that it has suffered a double loss. It is really funny. Seeing that Wood Wolf is so angry that it wants to vent its anger on the spirit herbs planted by Lin Luoran, The silver fish drags it back. She is kidding you. In fact, if there is anything, just talk to her. She is very enthusiastic if she can help. As for tempting her with the formula of bolus, don't do it in the future. Look at me and Brother Fire Phoenix. Doesn't she know that we must remember some formulas of bolus or secrets of the past? When did she ask us? Wood Wolf is like an angry ball. It is suddenly poked by the soft voice of the silver fish. After coming here for so long, Wood Wolf also knows that this female cultivator Lin Luoran is very soft-hearted. If it didn't have the idea to melt her and cultivate the green light flower, she probably wouldn't be so cruel to put itself into the space. But will it tell this innocent little silver fish that the pride of the Wolf King can't be tarnished? Well, in fact, it has been a monster for so many years in which the weak are prey to the strong. It is not used to such a leisurely life without calculation, okay? Grandmaster, what do you think I got? As soon as Lin Luoran gets the formula of bolus and gets out of the space, she sees Yuan Yi walking towards her happily. She thought that Yuan Yi stayed in the first palace for so long because he failed in the catch week, and this apprentice was too embarrassed to come back. Unexpectedly, maybe it is because he caught something good? Yuan Yi is very happy. He opens his palm, and a pair of small palm-sized wings lies quietly. They are a bit like the wings of a dragonfly. 2 wings are big and the other 2 are small. There is a trace of golden light flowing. Lin Luoran feels a little familiar. Of course, Yuan Yi will not be happy because of this little thing. Lin Luoran takes the small wings and injects Wacken into them. The wings become bigger in her palm and float in the air. A delicate ring buckles her waist, and then straps her shoulders. Lin Luoran uses her mind and the wings grow to about 1.5 meters. They are thin and small. Lin Luoran can actually fly to the roof of the palace with one flap of the wings. Although she can't command it as usual because it hasn't recognized her as its owner, Lin Luoran is 100% sure that this is a flying magic weapon after trying it. Isn't Yuan Yi too lucky? The actual function of this thing is definitely above the protean dress. The most important thing is that Yuan Yi can fly on the sword. Now he touches this thing. Lin Luoran smiles unkindly and returns the small wings to Yuan Yi. You've really touched a peach blossom. Yuan Yi blushes because of his grandmaster's teasing. He quickly puts the small wings in and changes the topic. Grandmaster, have you checked Lu Xinyo's situation? When it comes to business, Lin Luoran also becomes serious. She also imitates Wood Wolf and turns the prescription of bone marrow cleansing bolus into a memory bead. She puts it between Yuan Yi's eyebrows. Come and have a look at this prescription. Yuan Yi closes his eyes to digest. When he opens his eyes again, his heart is beating fast because of the words grade 6. This is a grade 6 bone marrow cleansing bolus. His grandmaster really treats him as an outsider. Seeing his grandmaster is still staring at him, Yuan Yi calms down and considers the prescription carefully. He suddenly realizes, Grandmaster, do you want to improve a special medicine for leukemia based on this bone marrow cleansing bolus? Lin Luoran nods. In your opinion, is it easy? Excluding those unknown spirit herbs and spirit medicines, Yuan Yi deliberates for half an hour and then says cautiously, if we can find alternative Chinese herbs, it won't be immediate. We can develop it according to the course of treatment. There is still a big chance. Yuan Yi has the same idea as Lin Luoran. He points at Lu Xinyo, who is in a coma. Let's start with her. As soon as he comes, he climbs up to update and sees a lot of comments. Hey, I will be touched if you do this, okay? Chapter 367. When Lu Xinyo opens her eyes in a daze, she thinks she is dead. If she is not dead, how can she see a magnificent palace and a figure like a fairy in the divine palace? At first glance, it was quite similar to the portrait of mortal heart fairy that was drawn by her mother. It turns out that the fairy she believed in her lifetime will come to take her away? But she is not a believer of mortal heart fairy. Lu Xinyo vaguely hears a man and a woman talking about how to save her. She smiles helplessly. Acute leukemia has dragged on for almost half a year. The last scene in her memory is many people in white coats rushing in, saying that she is infected and needs to be rescued. Lu Xinyo's memory is chaotic. She faints again in a daze. Grandmaster, she is much better now. Well, let's continue. I'm afraid Lu Guiying has been worried sick these days. Intermittent conversations like this come into Lu Xinyo's ears from time to time. The high fever makes her almost lose the ability to think. Sometimes she thinks that if she can survive, she certainly doesn't want to die. Yes, no one wants to die in their youth. Her painting has not been recognized by the industry. She hasn't had a good relationship yet. The most important thing is that she hasn't become the person that her mother who raised her and refused to remarry wants to be. She hasn't fulfilled her father's last wish. She is reluctant to leave Lu Guiying, who has a loud voice and likes to work. Lin Luoran breathes a sigh of relief. No matter how effective the elixir is, the patient must have the will to survive. Compared with the previous one, today's elixir is much more effective. Lu Xinyo excretes a black substance which is necrotic cells. Lin Luoran casts a cleaning spell to clean Lu Xinyo, who is in a coma. Then she asks Yuan Yi to feed her some porridge made from the space rice. Grandmaster, in this way she can be sent out in 2 days, right? It feels great to pull a dying man back from hell with his own hands. Yuan Yi finally decides to dedicate himself to the Tao of Bolus and pursue his own dream. Lin Luoran nods. Can you write down the prescriptions we have tried? Yuan Yi takes out a stack of paper. Such valuable experience. I have written down every step. Lin Luoran finally smiles with satisfaction. Lin Luoran can see the situation on the shore of Dongting Lake, through the Seaview Terrace. Lu Guiying lives in a luxurious villa, and her expression when she looks at Mount June every day makes Lin Luoran want to cleanse Lu Xinyo's marrow directly. However, in order to benefit more people in the future, she and Yuan Yi still insist on using traditional medicine for treatment. Fortunately, the heavens did not disappoint those who worked hard. Now it seemed that her choice was not wrong. Auntie Lu, don't worry. I said I'll come out tonight, and it will be tonight. The moon was in the middle of the sky. Mount June was very quiet. 3 figures were waiting in front of Lu Yiwell. In the past 10 days, Lu Guiying can't sleep every night. Wei Shui can bear it, but Ma Ming's girlfriend, Tongya, has been impatient for a long time. The little fatty also asked them in private whether they are going to do something big in Dongting. Lin Luodong and Huang Weijian must find time to accompany Lu Guiying every day, and their whereabouts are mysterious. That's why the little fatty said so. However, Lin Luodong is not sure whether he can take Wei Shui in or not. Ma Ming is such a blabbermouth. He can't tell him that they are staying here for a one-day tour of the Dragon Palace. At 3 o'clock in the morning, the night is slightly cold. Lu Guiying looks pious. She doesn't listen to Lin Luodong and Huang Weijian's dissuasion. She insists on kneeling in front of Lu Yiwell to show her sincerity to mortal heart fairy. Her clothes are wet, but this old woman doesn't feel it at all. She has made a great wish. If her daughter Lu Xinyo can really come back to life, her family must worship the fairy for generations to repay the fairy's kindness. A warm light comes from the mouth of the well. Lu Guiying looks up and sees Yuan Yi holding Lu Xinyo out. In 10 days, Lu Xinyo's metabolism is extremely fast. Her hair that has fallen off because of chemotherapy grows an inch longer. She is still wearing the same hospital gown, but Lu Guiying can see that Lu Xinyo's complexion is different at a glance. Her cheeks are rosy, her sunken eyes are meaty, and her pointed chin doesn't look so scary. The skin on her neck is still very white under the moonlight, but the bulging blue veins are gone. Is she better? She will wake up tomorrow morning. Aunt Lu, you can rest in the villa for another night. Yuan Yi doesn't know whether this is maternal love or not. Anyway, as an orphan, he can't understand it. Lu Guiying has lost a lot of weight during this period, but now she can still hold Lu Xinyo in her arms. Obviously, he has underestimated Lu Guiying's strength. Lu Guiying is ecstatic at this moment. She kowtows to Lu Yiwell and obediently follows Lin Luodong back to the villa. Yuan Yi knows that the old woman is actually very tired. She probably hasn't had a good sleep for a long time. He sighs and secretly sprinkles a little powder. It should be enough for the mother and daughter to have a good sleep. Grandmaster said that you two performed very well this time. You can go to the Dragon Palace with companions. Yuan Yi winks at them. Go with companions. Huang Weijian is up to no good. Does that mean you can go with Wei Shui? Go with companions? Ah. Lin Luodong blushes. An idea flashes in his mind and he immediately retorts. If each person can have one place, the one you bring with you is Ma Ming, right? This is a world full of otakus. Gay has spread to the world of personal ability cultivation. Hearing this, Huang Weijian's face immediately darkens. Yuan Yi turns his face away and laughs so hard that he almost has an internal injury. When are we going? The two play for a while, and then they ask about business. Yuan Yi shakes his head. Wait and you'll know. Lin Luodong has no choice but to sneak back to Huang Weijian's small building with Huang Weijian. After 9 o'clock the next day, the sun shines on the bed through the half-closed curtains. Lu Guiying just wakes up. She hasn't slept so comfortably for half a year. She is still not used to waking up in a luxurious big bed. Hey, didn't she fall asleep on the sofa last night while guarding her daughter? How come she wakes up in a big bed? Lu Guiying wakes up and sits up. This house is huge. She looks up and down before she finds some noise in the kitchen on the first floor. Lu Guiying finds a familiar figure in a hospital gown. She looks at her daughter who is not skillful enough to break 2 eggs into the pot. Lu Guiying's cheeks are already full of tears. Yu. Lu Xinyo turns her head. Mom, why are you crying again? Haven't she cried enough in the past 6 months? She feels that she is all right, but Sister Lu comes to provoke her again. Lu Xinyo thinks so and she can't stop crying. The mother and daughter hug each other and cry bitterly. It seems that they want to vent all the hardships and hesitation in the past 6 months. Of course, no one cares about the poached eggs in the pot anymore. It is a sunny day outside the window. Lu Guiying feels full of strength even if she doesn't have breakfast. The mother and daughter calm down. This time, they find that there is only an envelope on the table with some Wuxia currency and a note in it. The main idea is that Lu Xinyo has just recovered from her illness and can live in this villa temporarily. Since they are in a rush when they come out, the Wuxia currency is left as the bus fare back. There is no signature. Lu Guiying thinks it must be the person on the sword who picks them up and takes Lu Xinyo into the well for treatment. Lu Guiying has regarded Lin Luodong and Yuan Yi as the immortal messengers who live in the mortal world on behalf of mortal Heart Fairy. Recalling the days when she gets along with them, they are gentle and don't put on airs. Lu Guiying can't help sighing. She has worked in the street office for many years and has seen all kinds of people. Compared with some upstarts who embarrass ordinary staff like her, the real nobles are like these immortal messengers. They don't have condescending arrogance even when they are helping you. It's good to be alive. Lu Xinyo changes into a new dress. Accompanied by Lu Guiying, she climbs Mount Jun Island in a sober state for the first time. Lu Xinyo has just recovered from a serious illness. She looks thin as if she can be blown away by the wind. Seeing Lu Xinyo's appearance, pilgrims can't help but make way for her. With the help of Lu Guiying, she kowtows 3 times in front of Lu Yiwell and lights incense with her bare hand. I, Lu Xinyo, am grateful for Fairy's life-saving grace. You saved my life and my mother's life. I'm willing to follow my mother's order, and the Lu family will worship Mortal Heart Fairy from now on. I'm willing to use my whole life to spread Fairy's miracles. If there is any falsehood in my words, I won't be reincarnated. This is a vow and also a lifelong aspiration. Lu Xinyo's voice is not loud and she says it very solemnly. Some pilgrims nearby hear it, and they are all surprised. This girl is so young. Why does it sound like she is going to be a nun? Lu Guiying recounted the whole story, and the others were skeptical. She just worshipped Mortal Heart Fairy, and when she was critically ill, a miracle appeared and saved this young girl? Why does it sound like a fairy tale? Lu Guiying sees that they don't believe it, and is eager to explain. Lu Xinyo has finished making the aspiration and stands up. Mom, let's go. Lin Luoren doesn't explain too much and leaves as if nothing happened. Instead, these skeptical pilgrims become convinced. Among them, there were many who had personally felt the spiritual rain in the past and admired the fairy face. What they doubted was not the existence of Mortal Heart Fairy, but the fact that an ordinary woman could also alarm the fairy because of her piety, and such a blessing was given to her. Leukemia. The girl is just a little thinner but she is in good spirits. It's better to believe this kind of thing. These pilgrims catch up with her. What did the big sister say just now? Her daughter is a top student in the Academy of Fine Arts and a person who is proud of seeing the fairy face. It's a serious matter to ask her to draw a picture and offer it at home. Pilgrims spread the news to 10 and 10 to 100. Lin Luoran's believers slowly develop in this way. Lu Xinyo always acts as she says. She begins to fulfill her preaching duties before leaving Mount Jun. Lin Luoran suddenly opens her eyes in the Dragon Palace. She finds that there are some white light spots in her ocean of consciousness. One of the new light spots is not as bright as Lu Guiying's faith, but it is firmly connected with the fly Apsara's painted sculpture with a new momentum. The silk thread emits beautiful brilliance. Lin Luoran can see that the person connected by the silk thread has made a great aspiration of never abandoning preaching for life. Chapter 368. It is not until the next afternoon that Lin Luodong and others understand what Yuan Yi means by saying, "Just wait and see." Mr. and Mrs. Lin arrive with Zheng Tian. Li Shi, comes with Cui Wanlu's family. Lin Luodong is shocked by the dozens of people. In a trance, he feels that his sister has become the big boss guarding the Dragon Palace. They are all excited and they are going to kill monsters. Wang Miao. He always treats Lin Luodong as her son-in-law. She pinches Lin Luodong's face as soon as she sees him. After all, Lin Luodong is only 19 years old. He blushes. Wang Miao and Mrs. Lin are only a few years apart in age. Wang Miao gets rid of the toxins in her body because of the skin beauty bolus. These years she eats and drinks like the Lin family. Except for her charm, she always looks like a woman in her 30s or early 40s. Like Mrs. Lin, Wang Miao looks like a noble lady. Ma Ming has already sent Tangya home on the plane under Lin Luodong's hint. Now that the Lin family is here, Ma Ming knows that something good is going to happen. Last time he got a mysterious jade pendant. What good thing is there this time? Ma Ming is anxious. However, everyone is tight-lipped and refuses to tell him in advance. At this time, there are still many pilgrims in Mount Jun. They have to wait patiently. It has become a tradition to go to Yeyang Tower to look at Dongting Lake. They are bored, so they buy tickets to go there. The water of Dongting Lake has been greatly improved. The lake surface is clear and the scenery of blue waves is back. Lin's pharmaceutical factory has invested a lot of money to beautify the lake embankment. More tourists come to Dongting Lake. With the investment of Lin's company, the economy of Dongting Lake has improved and the financial revenue has not decreased. In the past 2 years, the local government has realized that even if they close down those chemical plants, it will only be good for them. In fact, I bought a cruise ship last time. Zheng Tian doesn't remember that he bought a cruise ship until he goes to Yeyang Tower. His enthusiasm is despised. Everyone pays for the tickets, but they have to follow him down. It is good to watch the tide from a high place, but how can it compare with boating on the lake? Well, the boat seems to be a little bigger. Are all cultivation families so rich? Ma Ming and Wei Shui have the same suspicion. After all, the cruise ship in front of them was simply too big. Cruise ships often represent wealth, not only because they are expensive, but also because they are rarely used each year. The maintenance fee is also high, so it is not cost-effective. Except for Zheng Tian, probably no one would do such a thing. The gentle lake breeze blows. Ma Ming is interrogating Lin Luodong on the deck. Wei Shui also feels uncomfortable. The chef is frying the famous crayfish of Dongting for everyone. It is intertwined with the fragrance of frying lamb chops. It is quite a combination of Chinese and Western. Looking at Lin Luodong and Ma Ming, Wei Shui murmurs. Cui Wanlu sits at the bar and pulls the belt of her princess dress. Huang Weijian is amused and goes closer. Why aren't you rushing up to stir things up? Cui Wanlu looked at him as if he was an idiot. Brother Weijian, do you know how long a cultivator can live? Huang Weijian is stunned. Cui Wanlu is not only precocious but also quick-witted. As an adult, he can't even figure out what she is thinking. Cui Wanlu smiles proudly. Grandmaster said that Brother Luodong and I have the best single Taoist root in the whole Lin school. Even in the world of cultivation. Do you know what it means? Huang Weijian suddenly feels frustrated and shakes his head. Cui Wanlu reaches out and draws a line. If our personal ability enhancement goes well, Brother Weijian, You can live this long. She then draws a longer line. Brother Luodong and I may live this long. Huang Weijian stares at her. Cui Wanlu raises another finger and lowers her voice. What about Sister Wei Shui? She has no Taoist root, so she can only live this long. Since I can live so much longer than her, it doesn't matter if I give in to her. Is she really only 10 years old? Huang Weijian's hand holding the spirit wine trembles. He can no longer keep a straight face. The corner of his mouth twitches and he runs away. Cui Wanlu pouts and takes a small cake and puts it in her mouth. It tastes really good, but it's a pity that it's sweet. Mom said that girls will get fat if they eat too much sweets. She likes her father very much, but Brother Luodong won't like a fat man like her father. Cui Wanlu swallows and jumps off the high stool of the bar. Her determination to resist sweets is clear. Because of the fun, time flies. Before the aroma of lamb chops dissipates, night has fallen. Zheng Tian is about to direct the cruise to Mount June Island when there is a cry of surprise on the deck. He also steps forward and leans against the railing to have a look. Under the moonlight, the sparkling lake is now very lively. The lobster army doing gymnastics, the water snake team doing yanko, and the fish performing synchronized swimming. It seems that they are welcoming everyone. Yuan Yi starts to spread the powder again. The staff on the cruise all fall asleep. After the fish in the water have finished their welcome dance, the lake suddenly separates to make a waterway. One end of the steps is connected to the deck of the cruise, and the other end extends to the bottom of the lake. It shines with breathtaking brilliance under the moonlight. This is... Fatty Ma Ming's eyes are about to pop out. Fatty Chui, who is about the same size as him, pats him. Silly boy, it's obvious that they are here to pick us up. Ma Ming, the question is, where are they going to pick them up? Looking at the dark bottom of the lake and at night, it looks like a ghost story. Except for Yuan Yi, Cui Wanlu is the boldest one among them. She is the first one to come to herself. Big school brother, can we go down to the Dragon Palace? Yuan Yi nods. Ma Ming feels dizzy. The Dragon Palace? Did he hear it wrong? Looking at Lin Luodong and Huang Weijian again, no wonder they asked him to send Tongya back first. The Dragon Palace. This is clearly an urban fantasy on the internet. Ma Ming finally gets a chance to be a pig trotter. Cui Wanlu takes the lead and steps on the water steps. They are smooth but not slippery. She giggles and runs all the way down. Wang Miaoyi has a headache. She drags Fatty Chui to follow them. Hearing the conversation of a family coming from the bottom of the lake and the vague image, everyone comes to their senses. Why don't you come down? Lin's voice is a little distorted through the lake. Mr. and Mrs. Lin look at each other and smile. They walk down the steps hand in hand. Wei Shui also steps on the steps carefully. After all, she is a girl who has never seen the means of cultivators, so she is much timid. Seeing her trembling, Lin Luodong doesn't think much and takes her hand to go down together. Wei Shui's face is red like a big apple under the moonlight. Lin Luodong doesn't notice it at all. Ma Ming winks at Huang Weijian. Fatty Chui is so bored. Huang Weijian pushes him and asks him to go down quickly. Zheng Tian gives time to the big school brother and sneaks down quickly. Yuan Yi is one step behind. Sheer, can I talk to you? Li stomps her feet. What you? I don't know you well. Call her School Aunt Li. School Aunt Li is fine. Yuan Yi has no choice but to tell her what happened. He spreads out his palm. I don't need this flying magic weapon anyway. How about we exchange? The wings are transparent and delicate like a dragonfly. Li is very tempted. She injects a little wacken into the wings and they transform. They buckle on her waist and shoulders. With a flap and a movement, she is about to fly up. She really wants it, but how can it belong to Yuan Yi? Although it is an exchange, it is very unlikely that she can get a better magic weapon than this. Li feels a little regretful. When she is about to refuse, Yuan Yi suddenly pricks her palm with a needle. Drops of blood fall on the magic weapon of flight. This has it recognized her as its master? Isn't he forcing her to give it to him? Li is so angry that she kicks Yuan Yi several times. Then she flaps her wings and flies down the water steps. Yuan Yi smirks and follows her. When his figure disappears in the water, the steps also disappear. The moon is hanging high in the night sky. There is only this gorgeous cruise ship on the surface of Dongting Lake. The chef and the staff have fallen asleep. Lin Luoran is a tour guide waiting for them in the outer hall. Cultivators must be strong-willed. Fatty Chui sees those beads and wants to take a few off to see if they are real. Is this throne made of real gold? Ma Ming looks at it and asks Huang Weijian. Huang Weijian gives him a supercilious look. After all, this is the place where the dragons used to live. Both the palace and the gate are built high. The Lin family walks in it, and it doesn't feel crowded. Instead, it makes the dragon palace look even more magnificent. Li Xier takes Wei Shui and Chui Wanlu to explore. After a while, they come back from a side hall. Li Xier really has something unexpected. It was a pink gauze. According to Li Xier, it was taken from a big bed. It looked like a mosquito net. Even if it is a decorative mosquito net, it may have been used by the dragon girl. You can keep it. The dragon palace is vast and there are many palaces. Lin Luoran spends most of her time here for cultivation, and she doesn't have time to explore. However, Li says, even if we find a needle here, its surname is not Li. Sister Lin, you can keep it. She puts the gauze in Lin Luoran's arms and runs away with Wei Shui and Chui Wanlu. Lin Luoran is speechless. Li Xier never plays by the rules. She introduces the place to the others along the way. Obviously, the Seaview Terrace and the garden she has cleaned are the most popular. Mrs. Lin and Wang Miao are walking around the garden. They are surprised to see the big mussel that Lin Luoran used to pick up pearls. Fatty Chui instigates Mr. Lin to ask if they should catch a few of the unreasonably big fish and shrimps in the pond to have a taste. As for Zheng Tian, he is rushing to try the Seaview Terrace with Lin Luodong and others. Lin Luoran only has Yuan Yi, who is not interested in these things. Yuan Yi coughs and says, Grandmaster, it seems that they are not in the mood to choose gifts. Gifts? What gifts? Everyone's attention is attracted by Lin Luoran. The place where Lin Luoran is standing is the weird and ugly flower tree. I don't know if you have seen the lucky draw on the homepage of Zongheng. As long as you register for the mailbox 173 and change the information of your Zongheng account to the mailbox 173, you can draw the lucky draw. Chapter 369. Speaking of this person's luck, it was really something that could not be fathomed. In the catch week of the first palace of Jiuhua Palace, Ma Ming actually wins the first prize. Fatty didn't expect that there would be a flying sword aiming at him, as if it was chasing him. He is so scared that he almost pees his pants. It turns out to be a grade 5 flying sword. At that time, everyone has touched their prizes and they are discussing together. Ma Ming holds the flying sword in a daze and doesn't know what to do. He already knows that he is a person without the Taoist root, and is born unable to cultivate. Holding such a precious treasure, Ma Ming feels like grabbing a red-hot soldering iron in everyone's envious eyes. It's too hot. Fatty grits his teeth and actually throws the flying sword to Lin Luodong. What are you going to do? My sister said that whoever touches it is destined to be with him. Lin Luodong is quite determined. Of course, he wants the grade 5 flying sword. Lin Luoran's sword of bright snow is only grade 5, and Mr. Lin's broadsword is only grade 3. However, it is Ma Ming who touches it. It's a personal chance. Lin Luodong can't accept it. Ma Ming puts his arms around Lin's neck. Look, it's like this. He pulls Lin Luodong aside and whispers. Fatty Chui touches a Methra Yabuda, a standard antique of the Tang dynasty. It is elegant, but its big belly seems to be laughing at him. Brother Chui, how are your cousins? Lin Luoran suddenly remembers that she returned home in a hurry and left without waiting for Chui Hejian and others to get the storage bags back. She learned some magic circles in the Dragon Palace and now remembers this. Fatty Chui nods. He said that Saito Asada became the Grand Priest. He not only returned the storage bags, but also gave them some things to calm down. My cousin lost his face this time, so he became more restrained. He wanted to come to Lin's house to thank you several times, but he was too embarrassed to come alone. Lin Luoran says, there's no need to thank me. He wants to come here to play. Brother Chui, why don't you take him here? However, I heard that when a person encounters a disaster, he must have some enlightenment. Tell him not to worry. Fatty Chui nods. Lin Luoran is not aimless. She only experienced this kind of completely forgetting the past with the help of Fire Phoenix on the eve of bearing essence period. It is also a rare experience for her to correct her mentality. People like Cui Hejian, Yi Xiaobei, and Little Six of the Mu family are really lucky to survive a disaster. They are chatting when Ma Ming, Lin Luodong and Huang Weijian come back with their arms around each other's shoulders. The result of the discussion is that Lin Luodong and Huang Weijian will help him keep this grade 5 flying sword together. When the Ma family has a promising descendant who is lucky enough to have a Taoist root, they will help him pass it on to his descendants. Usually Lin Luodong and Huang Weijian can use it if they want. Wait until the descendants of the Ma family have the Taoist root? In addition, Huang Weijian practices Confucianism. It is clear that this sword is for Lin Luodong. Luodong's friend is interesting. Lin Luoran says seriously. Since someone entrusted him to you, Luodong, have you taken the oath of the devil inside? Lin Luodong is stunned. Ma Ming asks what the oath of the devil inside is. After listening to Huang Weijian's explanation, the fatty waves his hand to show that there is no need to swear. Reminded by his sister, Lin Luodong solemnly swears by the devil inside that when the Ma family has a descendant who can cultivate, he will return the flying sword. The fatty smiles awkwardly. In fact, he feels very complicated. These treasures originally belonged to Lin's sister. How generous it is to let them come to the Dragon Palace. Besides, he happened to touch this flying sword. How can he, an ordinary person, hold such a precious treasure? A treasure is a crime. Ma Ming wants to give it to Lin Luodong. In addition to making his good friend happy, he also has a selfish intention. He has a good relationship with Lin Luodong and Huang Weijian, but it doesn't mean that his friends will still remember the other members of the Ma family after 100 years. This is the selfishness of the fatty to make Lin Luodong think of Ma Ming's descendants when he sees the flying sword. He doesn't expect that Lin Luoran sees through him. Instead of being unhappy, she asks Lin Luodong to take the oath of the devil inside. That is to say, if the Ma family is lucky enough to have a descendant with the Taoist root, they will be accepted into the Lin family. Hey, can you people not be so generous? Don't you know that I will be touched? The fatty secretly touches the corner of his eyes. He will never admit that he almost cried just now. Except for Ma Ming, other people have different luck. Wei Shui gets a gorgeous phoenix crown. Although it is an ordinary thing, if she sells it, it is enough to make people crazy. The gorgeous phoenix crown is made of 108 small pearls strung together as a curtain, 9 dadong pearls as the top of the hat, and gold silk as the bottom. It is inlaid with huge rubies. It weighs 7 caddies and 2 tails. Although it is a priceless work of art, Wei Shui can't figure out what kind of physique is needed to run around with this phoenix crown. If she sells it, the Wei family won't have to worry about money for the rest of their lives. However, Wei Shui is worried now. How can she take such a big thing back? Lin Luodong's place has become a safe again. Wei Shui gives the phoenix crown to Lin Luodong for safekeeping. The two of them don't notice anything wrong, but these playful adults are smiling so ambiguously. Cui Wanlu starts to play with her poor clothes again. Huang Weijian pushes her. You are the only one who got 2 storage bags. Why don't you show it now? Cui Wanlu stares at Huang Weijian fiercely. She has touched a pair of storage bags. Both the appearance and space are very good. Does he want her to give one to him for free at this time to hold her rival's phoenix crown? She is generous, but she is not a fool. Wang Miaoyi gets a jade guanyin. Lin notices the light power of faith on it. She guesses that it must have a history. She asks Wang Miaoyi to decide whether they should take it home and worship it. It is easier to invite a god than to send him away. The family can't worship anything randomly. If Wang Miaoyi doesn't want to, she doesn't want to take it home. Gods and Buddhas are gone. Lin Luoran can't guarantee that they are dead or gone. What if they come back one day? Therefore, Wang Miaoyi has to make the decision herself. Zheng Tian thinks that he will get a flying sword, but it turns out to be a jade flute. He knows nothing about music, so he gives it to his grandmaster. Lin Luoran also doesn't know anything about music, so she puts it away. Mrs. Lin gets a beauty bolus. She is surprised and feels that it is more suitable than any flying sword or magic weapon. Even Mr. Lin is happy, so he doesn't care that he only gets a copy of Tao Te Ching. Li Shi gets a pair of earrings with a light water defense power. She gives them back to Yuan Yi with a smile. She can't tolerate those who plot against school Aunt Li. Seeing that Yuan Yi accepts the earrings that only a woman can wear, Li Shi laughs bitterly. Yuan Yi likes Huang Weijian's most. It is a calligraphy of a famous master. He is happier than getting a magic weapon. He puts it away happily. Lin Luodong gets a dust-proof coat, which is not as good as Lin Luoran's protean dress, which can be changed at will. It is a Taoist robe, which makes him sigh. He has to give it to Lin Luoran for safekeeping. In the first hall of the palace of Jiuhua, there are many white mist balls. People just want to have fun. Anyway, they can get things for free. No matter what they get, they will be happy. The floor of the hall behind is full of traces of Lin Luoran's magic circles. It is inconvenient for them. Besides, if they see it, they will get dizzy like Yuan Yi. The loss outweighs the gain. Lin Luoran takes everyone out of the Dragon Palace. She makes a water dome, so that they can experience the fun of diving in the dome. They go to the bottom of Dongting Lake and have a tour. When it is dawn and the mist rises from Dongting Lake, their trip to the Dragon Palace comes to a perfect end. On the deck of the cruise ship, Lin Luodong holds Lin Luoran's hand reluctantly. Sister, don't you want to go home with us? Lin Luoran shakes her head. The magic circle she deduces has taken shape. Next, it is time to refine weapons. Young Lisha has sent 2 paper cranes to urge her. The time to go to Penglai is imminent. In addition to refining weapons, Lin Luoran may have to find time to refine some elixirs. Goldie went to Weifang again. Zheng Tian and the Lin family don't answer. Lin Luoran sighs. Goldie didn't come, so it can only go to Weifang. It seems that there is still no news about Cyan Little Fox. As the main material, red gold iron, is calcined into a pool of brown liquid with some golden threads. It looks simple, but it takes Lin Luoran 7 days to melt the red gold iron that Wen Guanjing gave her in exchange for the foundation-laying bolus last time. She thinks it is about time and adds a piece of green calcined ore. It was found at the bottom of Dongting Lake, which is a pleasant surprise. 3 days later, when the green calcined ore is melted, the color of the liquid becomes beautiful. The golden threads intertwine with the green threads, which is indescribably moving. Lin Luoran recalls the method of making the weapon embryo in Introduction of Swords. She changes her hand gesture. The colorful liquid is slowly solidified, and the embryo of a sword embryo is formed. The embryo determines the future power of the magic weapon. Lin Luoran can't afford to make any mistakes. She spares a part of her mind to implant several fixed magic circles into the sword embryo. Every magic weapon needs its own magic circle. It is a big problem to enlarge or shrink it at will. There is also the dust-proof magic circle and the more important, wind-riding magic circle, which is the most important step to let the flying sword fly. If Lin Luoran didn't study the Star Atlas in the past 2 months, she wouldn't be able to recognize the specific function of the magic circle even if she has the bright sword in hand. Refining weapons is not an ordinary thing. Lin Luoran has refined armor with scorpion shells, but it is still difficult for her to refine such an advanced weapon as the flying sword. He could also use the heavenly fire to refine the materials, but he could only use the alchemic fire to carve the sword embryo. She consumes a lot of her spiritual mind, and the bolus fire is not inexhaustible. It is closely related to the Wakan inside Lin Luoran. She embedded a few formations before finally embedding the one she had improved herself. This has nothing to do with what she has learned in the Star Atlas. She just remembers a geometric theorem that she learned in elementary school. The triangle is the most stable. Zheng Tian has the Taoist root of 3 natures. What kind of flying sword is the most suitable for him? Lin Luoran can't find enough materials for the 3 kinds of Reiki, so she has to start with magic circles. Thinking of the 3 golden elixirs revolving around the pure white one in her body, Lin Luoran deduces a spirit rotating circle of 3 elements. When the user injects Reiki into the flying sword, the Reiki will rotate like the golden elixir in Lin Luoran's body. In the end, the 3 elements will merge into one, and the power of the magic weapon will increase gradually. Zheng Tian should be satisfied with this flying sword. Lin Luoran recalls the deduction process and carefully carves the nodes of the magic circle in the middle of the sword embryo. When all the dots are connected, Lin Luoran is exhausted. Only enchantment and sharpening are left, right? Lin Luoran uses the bolus fire to forge the sword embryo again. Refining weapons is nothing more than purifying materials and changing the arrangement of molecules. What Lin Luoran is doing now is to pull out the edge of the sword. The thin blade gradually appears. After Lin Luoran washes it with the ice spring water, the 1-foot-long flying sword appears in its full form. Lin Luoran has no spirit stone in her hand. She only inlaid the top-grade jade in the hilt as the circle eye. The 1-foot-long sword has not been enchanted yet. It is brown with dark lines formed by the intertwining of gold and black. It looks good. As for its actual power, Lin Luoran gets up to enchant the flying sword after a good night's sleep. When all the magic circles in the sword are lit up one by one, Lin Luoran breathes a sigh of relief. Incomplete magic circles that don't conform to the rules of stars can't be enchanted. That is to say, the spirit rotating circle, she deduces, is generally successful, regardless of its power. Lin Luoran looks at the 3-foot-long sword floating in the air after injecting Reiki into it. She finds a quiet night, and finds the foundation that the Lins are digging by the Dongting Lake to test the sword. Lin Luoran twists the sword and a big pit appears, which saves a lot of time for the Lins. Looking at the big pit, Lin Luoran has an estimate of the quality of the flying sword. Its appearance was ordinary, and it could even be considered simple and crude. Limited by the materials, it is impossible for it to grow like the sword of bright snow. This is a flying sword that is suitable for attacking, powerful, and more powerful than a grade 4 magic weapon. However, it is congenitally inferior to a grade 5 magic weapon. Naming should be left to Zheng Tian. Chapter 370. Lin Luoran rushes home day and night. When she gets home, she finds that her family hasn't gone to bed yet. It is already September. At midnight, the lights are on in the Lin's house. Lin Luoran sees her family sitting around the living room. She thinks something serious has happened and is a little anxious. Seeing that she comes back suddenly, Mr. and Mrs. Lin are happy and tell her the whole story. Sister Rong has been a nanny of the Lin's house for 2 years. She has become more and more likable in both her attitude towards life and her character. Sister Rong also benefits a lot from her job in the Lin's house. Her salary and bonus are nearly 10,000 yuan a month. For Sister Rong, who is less than 25 years old, and has an easy job. Even in 2018, when the price of goods in the state of Wuxia is not low, such a job is enough for her to be proud of other girls of the same age. Not to mention working in the Lin's house, Li Shi-er and Mrs. Lin take her shopping from time to time. They wash clothes and shoes without blinking. Sister Rong receives the salary of a white-collar worker and enjoys the treatment of food, accommodation, and clothing. From time to time, she learns some business knowledge from Zheng Tian. Zheng Tian also takes her to attend several classes in the Chuan University. Sister Rong feels that her life becomes bright. Sister Rong is satisfied with a student who has not been admitted to a university, but can also enjoy the treatment of a junior class. The more she learns, the broader her vision becomes. Only her boyfriend Gu Xiang, who claims to be ambitious but actually still depends on her, is the only discordant factor in her life. You mean Gu Xiang kidnapped Rong and asked Sister Rong to pay 5 million yuan as ransom? Lin Luoran has a strange look on her face after hearing the ins and outs of everyone staying up. Mrs. Lin is very worried. She takes Sister Rong's hand and comforts her constantly. Sister Rong's eyes are red and swollen. Even if she is a delinquent, she can't accept that her brother is kidnapped by her boyfriend. Seeing Sister Rong's stubborn and pitiful look, Lin Luoran has a headache. Zheng Tian sees that his grandmaster obviously doesn't believe this story, so he finds an excuse. When they are in the yard, Lin Luoran comes straight to the point. Did you kidnap Rong? Although she acquiesces to her apprentices to make the ruffian show his true colors, she doesn't have to make such a stupid move, right? Not to mention Sister Rong, even Mrs. Lin is so worried that she can't sleep. Zheng Tian shakes his head like a rattle. Why would we kidnap Rong? Master, you're insulting the intelligence of this disciple and eldest senior brother. Seeing that he still has the energy to smile, Lin Luoran knows that the situation is still under control. She smiles. If you didn't find someone to do it, would Gu Xiang dare to ask for 5 million? Does Sister Rong have 5 million yuan? Zheng Tian says bitterly, it's a mistake. Li Yang said that it was a trap to let Rong's little sister see Gu Xiang's true colors. Unexpectedly, when Rong's little sister just showed signs of breaking up, Gu Xiang made the first move. He insisted that Sister Rong had climbed up a high branch. If she wanted to be a mistress, she had to give him 5 million yuan as compensation for the loss of youth, or he would kill her. 5 million in compensation for the loss of his youth? It turns out that there are really men who ask for money in this name. Lin Luoran feels disgusted as if she has swallowed a fly. She thought that men like Li Anping were the best, but it turns out that there are even better masters. Where is Rong Donglin now? Zheng Tian smiles flatteringly. He is locked behind a billiard room at the bus station in the east of the city. Eldest senior brother always protects him. Grandmaster, this is a good opportunity. It's worthwhile for Brother Rong to eat cold food for 2 days for his sister. Lin Luoran is speechless. You'd better ask Chao Liang to deal with this. If the truth is exposed, there will be a gap. Zheng Tian agrees. Seeing his smile, Lin Luoran remembers the flying sword in the space. She takes it out and hands it to Zheng Tian. He is stunned for a while. Master, Grandmaster, is this for me? Compared with the exquisite appearance of Sword of Bright Snow, this sword is not good-looking. However, it is the first time for Zheng Tian to touch a flying sword. As a lover of swordsmanship, he is too excited to speak. Put a drop of blood into it. Let it recognize you as its owner first. Then try the sword. Zheng Tian is overjoyed. After the sword recognizes him as its owner, he infuses Reiki into it. Looking at the sword, he is thrilled. Yuan Yi has taught him sword-riding spell. Zheng Tian has been practicing it over and over again, because he doesn't have a target to test it on. Now he has his own flying sword. Although they haven't built a tacit understanding yet, when Zheng Tian casts the spell, and directs the flying sword to hover above his head, Rong is still running around in the yard like a little kid. Grandmaster, what should I call it? Zheng Tian runs back and his trousers are stained with mud. He is eager to fight, but he remembers that the sword is a gift from his school. He wants to commemorate the gift, but he also wants a more domineering name. He is struggling to make a decision. Lin Luoran spreads out her hands. She finally gives the problem to her apprentice. Of course, there is no reason for her to take over. Zheng Tian should figure it out himself. Chao Liang arrives at Lin's house half an hour ago. Rong is kidnapped because of his mistake. Chao Liang can't sleep, and is on standby. Zheng Tian whispers to Chao Liang, and Chao Liang knows what to do. Leave it to me. Chao Liang takes the 5 million yuan prepared by Zheng Tian, puts it in 2 boxes and throws them in the trunk. Chao Liang asks Brother Leopard, who used to hang out with him. Brother Leopard has become Mr. Leopard now. He knows that the area around the Dongqing bus station is under the influence of vicious wolf. Chao Liang had an idea and a plan to deal with it. Zheng Tian is in a dilemma. Grandmaster, if we don't do something, I'm afraid that those gangsters will get desperate and hurt people. Chao will suffer. Chao Liang is energetic like a hunting leopard. He is not afraid at all. Tian, you are not as good as me at this kind of thing. Chao Liang is telling the truth. Zheng Tian is not stupid. It's just the environment. He is used to playing tricks. Chao Liang, on the other hand, is always calculating. Of course he is better at playing tricks. Even so, Gu Xiang is not asking for 5 million yuan. Lin Luoran is afraid that these gangsters have guns, so she throws a jade plate to Chao Liang. Holding the jade plate in his hand, Chao Liang bursts into tears. Is this the reward for his hard work? This is a good thing. He puts the jade plate away. Zheng Tian wonders. Why don't you recognize it as the owner? Chao Liang laughs. Leave it to my son. Chao Liang, who is good at playing tricks, is a typical father. Zheng Tian has no choice but to force him to recognize the owner of the jade plate. As the uncle, of course, he will worry about it. Hearing that Chao Liang starts the car, Sister Rong rushes out with red eyes. Brother Chow, I'll go with you. Zheng Tian nods subtly. Chow Liang asks Sister Rong to get in the car. Lin Luoran says that she doesn't care, but she still follows Chow Liang with Zheng Tian. Chow Liang only makes 2 phone calls along the way. It seems that he is calm. Brother Chow, are we really going to redeem my brother with 5 million yuan? Sister Rong looks at the street outside the car window. It's midnight. Even the barbecue and beer stalls have begun to close. There is nothing to see. Sister Rong can't divert her attention, so she starts to talk to Chow Liang. Chow Liang nods. You know, it's not good for the Lin family to deal with this matter. Otherwise, they will be laughed at. They even need to deal with ordinary gangsters. They will lose face in the world of cultivation. Money is the safest way. As for Gu Xiang, it's up to you to decide whether to punish him or not. Chow Liang's words are to force Sister Rong to think about it clearly. Not to mention 5 million yuan. If Gu Xiang gets 50 cents, he will have lived in vain for so many years. Sister Rong grits her teeth. The Lin family has nothing to say about us. It's unreasonable for them to pay 5 million yuan. When my brother is saved, we have to sell the house to pay the Lin family. Lin Luoran and Zheng Tian find it funny on the roof of the car. 2 years ago, Lin Luoran and Rong fought fiercely for a small apartment. When the little girl is sensible, she has a backbone. Chow Liang's foreshadowing is revealed before they arrive at the Dongqing station. Several vans gather quietly. Through the window, they can see that the vans are full of people. The bald man who has been promoted to Lord Leopard stops the car and comes over. Chow Liang rolls down half of the window and nods to him. Chow Liang doesn't stop the car. Lord Leopard's men wait until Chow Liang's car drives away, before muttering that Chow Liang is so ostentatious that he doesn't even get out of the car. Lord Leopard scolds him and asks, "Do you know who he is?" Of course his men can't answer. Lord Leopard doesn't explain. "We can take over the Dongqing station tonight. Don't you bastards want to wash your hands? What's the point of bowing your head? No man can be successful without suffering a little grievance. Follow him. Don't get too close." The vans start again, and follow Chow Liang's Bentley from a distance. At that time, the famous Lord Leopard was just a leopard guarding the place and people called him Brother Leopard. Chow Liang was just a fake second generation, who got bonuses and showed off his power. The incident in the Sanyo bar changed the fate of 4 people. Rong and Zheng Tian, whom Leopard is not familiar with, were knocked out by Lin Luoran. When Leopard opened his eyes in a daze, he saw a young man smashing the corner of a table into powder. Leopard has no backbone and continues to pretend to be unconscious. Hearing the young man and Chow Liang talking about kowtowing is to save you, Leopard thinks to himself that even Lord Chow has bowed his head. He doesn't know who this young man is. Leopard also gives up the idea of revenge. Of course, Leopard can't wake up at that time. Chow Liang has been humiliated. If Chow knows that Leopard is awake, he will definitely vent his anger on Leopard. However, Leopard also thinks that Chow Liang will lose his arrogance after suffering such a setback. Chow Liang will not be able to survive in this area in the future. Leopard should find a new boss. Chow Liang turns off the Sanyo bar. Leopard thinks that this rich second generation is going to go home and be a young master. After a long time, Chow Liang asks Leopard for help to inquire about the preferences of the heads of several relevant departments. Leopard doesn't know that Chow Liang goes against the current and turns a setback into an opportunity. He has a relationship with the person who humiliated him. Later, Lin's pharmaceutical factory becomes bigger, and Leopard knows that the beautiful woman in the Sanyo bar is surnamed Lin. Master Leopard comes to himself from the past and leisurely blows out a smoke ring. That's why people say that a setback is nothing. A good man knows when to yield and when to stand tall. Chow Liang didn't figure it out at that time. Now he is probably a third-class playboy and can't become a senior leader of Lin's pharmaceutical factory. Leopard won't have what he has today with Chow Liang's support. Lord Chow has tried to persuade him several times to change his name. Now that Leopard has a family business, he also wants to work underground. After taking over the East City Station, he can attack or retreat at will. He'd better do some serious business. Lord Leopard squints. He remembers that no matter how late he comes home, His virtuous wife always leaves a lamp on for him. Life is so promising. Who the hell wants to be a bad guy? Lord Leopard, if we go further, we will be targeted by vicious wolf's men. Chapter 371. The station has a large flow of people, and people from all walks of life gather here. Stealing a bag is just a piece of cake. The filth hidden under the floating population is beyond the imagination of ordinary people. Take this small billiards room for example. The floor was dirty, and it seemed to be a place for young people who had no money to play billiards in their spare time. But because it was accessible from all directions, it made a lot of money for Vicious Wolf every year. Of course, no one plays billiards in the middle of the night, but there are several hidden posts near the billiard room. Their boss, Vicious Wolf, is waiting for a big business, so of course he has to be vigilant. A wooden table is full of dishes to go with the wine. In the middle of September, there is a man in his 40s who is still shirtless. He does not feel cold at all. Wuxia nods and bows, constantly pouring wine and taking food for the middle-aged man. Several scantily dressed billiard girls all giggle. You brat, it is a pleasure to be poured wine by a beauty. Seeing your face, Lord Wolf has no appetite. The middle-aged man is a little dark and thin. It turns out that he is Vicious Wolf. Wuxia laughs and says some flattering words, but Vicious Wolf puts down his chopsticks. You brat, you can also have a rich girlfriend. Are you lying to Lord Wolf? Wuxia's eyes flash with a trace of panic. What are you talking about, Lord Wolf? Her family is very rich, and she also hooks up with a rich second generation. She didn't honor the breakup fee, so I kidnapped her brother. It is easy for her to take out 5 million yuan. Lord Wolf provides the venue, and she just needs to wait for the money. Breaking up and asking a woman to take the loss fee? Even if he is a gangster, Vicious Wolf also looks down on such a good-for-nothing. But no one is born to hate money. Wuxia lets him take the big share, and he doesn't mind supporting this little wretch. However, he really doesn't like to be fooled by others as a fool. Vicious Wolf winks, and the woman with heavy makeup, who is smiling just now, suddenly kicks Wuxia and the stool to the wall. Wuxia curls up in pain, and the woman with heavy makeup grabs his hair and presses him to the table. Vicious Wolf chews a peanut. You still have something to say, don't you? For example, her brother works in Lin's pharmaceutical factory, and your ex-girlfriend hooks up with a rich second generation, who is also a senior member of Lin's pharmaceutical factory. You bastard, do you want me to die with you? Wuxia's nose and mouth are covered with blood, and one of his front teeth is knocked out. Lord Wolf, no matter how rich Lin's pharmaceutical factory is, it is just a private company. Besides, senior member of Lin's pharmaceutical factory is just a part-time job. Du Lang spat at him. Private enterprise? You bastard, you made me take a big risk. In a while you come out and collect the money. Leave the 5 million and get out of Sichuan. I won't argue with you about the past. He patted Wuxia's face hard, motioning the girl with heavy makeup to let go. Wuxia staggered and felt that there was only darkness in front of him. 5 million yuan belongs to Vicious Wolf? Didn't that mean that after all his hard work, he would have to bear the name of a kidnapper for nothing? He would have to wander the world without getting a single cent of benefits? Wuxia gnashes his teeth with hatred. Seeing that Vicious Wolf leaves, he doesn't dare to show his unwillingness, nor does he dare to fight Vicious Wolf. He runs to the storage room behind the billiard room and kicks Rong hard. Rong has been hungry for 2 days, and he has no strength to fight back. He staggers after being kicked. Lin Luoran and her 2 apprentices are behind the wall of the storage room. Their spiritual mind is their eyes, and they see everything clearly. Zheng Tian is not as calm as Yuan Yi. Seeing that Rong is not only starving but also being beaten, he doesn't care about the plan anymore. Yuan Yi stops him. School brother, the Grandmaster didn't say anything. She must have her own considerations. Lin Luoran nods. The more miserable Rong is, the more Sister Rong will want to tear Wuxia apart. We can't decide the fate of our friends at will just because we are cultivators. She saw her brother's miserable appearance, and she still wants to protect that little ruffian. It can only show that Sister Rong is actually indifferent to family. This is the key to untie the knot in their hearts. Let's bear with it and not interfere. So what if they are cultivators? They can't force people to have feelings deep in their hearts. Lin Luoran also doesn't think that she is qualified to decide who Sister Rong should be with or not. For the safety of the Lin family, she can help Sister Rong see the real face of her boyfriend, but she can't force Sister Rong to make a choice. When the three of them are talking, there is a commotion in front of the billiard room. Chao Liang arrives with 2 suitcases. There are 5 million old banknotes in the boxes. Seeing Gu Xiang's miserable appearance, Chao Liang is still aggressive. People who don't know the truth may think that Chao Liang is the head of the kidnappers. Seeing that it is Chao Liang, Gu Xiang spits and scolds. Bitch, you still say that you have nothing to do with him? If you have nothing to do with him, will you pay for your brother's ransom? Sister Rong looks at him coldly, and is unwilling to say a word to him. Compared with pouring dirty water on her, she just wants to know whether Rong is still safe or not. Seeing Sister Rong's cold eyes, Gu Xiang is so angry that he has to run away without making a dime, even though he has to bear the reputation of 5 million. Of course, Vicious Wolf also leaves some people to support Gu Xiang. He wants to beat Sister Rong, but is pushed away by Chao Liang. The money is here. We have to see him first. It is the first time for Vicious Wolf's men to see a ransom paying so arrogant, let alone Gu Xiang. They look at each other and go forward to check the 2 boxes. 5 million is a lot. It takes them a while to get the money. During this period, Gu Xiang's eyes twinkle. No one knows what he is thinking. Someone goes to the storage room and drags Rong out. Sister Rong shows her weakness and her eyes are red. My car is over there. If you don't mind, can you help me to get in? Chao Liang finds a stool to sit down, takes out a lighter and lights a cigarette. Chao Liang has the jade plate with him, so he is not nervous. Besides, there are so many people outside, so he doesn't look nervous. However, in the eyes of others, he is a pretentious man. These people look at each other and really don't know whether to help Rong or not. Seeing that everyone is frightened by Chao Liang's momentum, Vicious Wolf can't sit still anymore. He laughs and comes out of the room next to him. Child Chao is really elegant. Help him to get in his car. I, Vicious Wolf, will be your friend. Chao Liang laughs. Sister Rong, go to the car and take care of your brother. Close the door and don't get out if you don't need to. Vicious Wolf, right? You are quite well informed. Vicious Wolf is about to answer, but Gu Xiang suddenly rushes out and pushes Sister Rong aside. He holds a gun in his right hand and points it at Sister Rong's temple. He forces her to get in the car and closes the door. He says fiercely, "Give me 5 million, or I will kill her and her brother." Vicious Wolf is so embarrassed that he has no time to talk to Chao Liang. Chao Liang ignores Gu Xiang's clamor. He pulls out a jade plate from his neck and says, "You kidnapped him. Where did you take his jade plate?" Rong has the protective jade plate, but he is still beaten black and blue. Isn't it unreasonable? Vicious Wolf is stunned and shakes his head. Is this the time to talk about the jade plate? In the mini world, Lin Luoran also asks, "Did you take his jade plate?" Zheng Tian starts to make a fuss. His eldest school brother, Yuan Yi, is also a black-bellied man. Grandmaster thinks that Yuan Yi is an honest man. Yuan Yi quietly throws the jade plate back to the corner of the storage room. He comes back calmly and says, "Realistic. Everything is for more realistic." Finally, Vicious Wolf's men find the jade plate in the corner of the storage room. He takes it and looks at it. Except for the word Lin, he doesn't see anything special. Chao Liang stubs out the cigarette, takes the jade plate from Yuan Ye's hand, and turns around to leave. Gu Xiang and Vicious Wolf are completely ignored. Vicious Wolf doesn't know why this person is so confident. Can he be so arrogant just because he is from the Lins? Chao Liang thinks it's almost time. He doesn't want Sister Rong to see too bloody a scene. He doesn't want to talk nonsense with these small characters. He goes to the car by himself. "Don't come closer. If you come closer, I'll shoot." Gu Xiang stretches out from the window and points at Chao Liang. He looks very embarrassed. Seeing Chao Liang coming, Gu Xiang's hand trembles and he really shoots. Vicious Wolf is furious. He has never seen someone like Gu Xiang who doesn't listen to the director. If someone dies here, The billiard room can no longer be used for other purposes. After the gunshot, Chao Liang doesn't fall down. The jade plate on his neck bursts out a white light. The shell scratches the light and falls to the ground. Vicious Wolf is stunned. Gu Xiang is stunned. Sister Rong pushes him out of the car. Chao Liang's mouth moves slightly. He spits out 2 silent words, idiot. He raises the car key in his hand and kicks Gu Xiang's gun away. Do you want to run away with the money without the car key? Then he drives away regardless of Vicious Wolf's gloomy face. Sister Rong doesn't say a word in the car. She doesn't even look at Gu Xiang on the ground again, as if he is a passerby who has nothing to do with her. Vicious Wolf's men start an inexplicable drama. They stare at the money on the table. Boss. Vicious Wolf is still thinking about the white light that can't be explained by common sense when Chao Liang is shot. Is it really worth to offend such a person for 5 million? As soon as Chao Liang leaves, Lord Leopard comes with his men. First break this little bastard's legs, then smash this place. He is talking about Gu Xiang and smashing the billiard room. Vicious Wolf is furious. Lord Leopard's men all come out from the alley. The 3 of them don't have time to watch the power shuffle. They are about to leave quietly when a muffled laugh comes from the shadow. Lin Luoran, you are really a good-for-nothing as a bearing essence cultivator. Happy Gregorian New Year. There is good news and bad news in the new year. Which one do you want to hear first? Chapter 372. The monster in Rong City is probably the only one who can get close to her quietly. Late at night in September, young Lisha is wearing casual sportswear and standing in the shadow of an alley. She really looks like a young girl after jogging if you don't look at the weird time and place. Young Lisha comes to her for nothing but their agreement. Lin Luoran wants Yuan Yi and Zheng Tian to go back. She thinks that she may need to ask the monster to take care of her family in Penglai. It's good to get familiar with her first. You guys can call her Master Yang. Yuan Yi met young Lisha when he was in the Tower of Babel. At that time, he only felt that she was mysterious and powerful. When did she become a master? Young Lisha doesn't say yes or no. You are good at taking advantage of others. Come with me. Young Lisha takes the 3 of them through the alleys of Rong City. They soon come to the flower shop of Yang's family. Yuan Yi is quite familiar with this place. He and Mr. Lin came here to make trouble. He feels embarrassed to let Yuan Yi come to the flower shop again after such a long time. They look at the flowers in the shop. Young Lisha takes Lin Luoran to the backyard. The acacia tree bears a lot of fruit this year. Some pods have burst. Lin Luoran is not happy. Instead, she frowns. Young Lisha looks the same as her. She picks up a red acacia bean. Voidy's vitality is fading. She can't wait. Lin Luoran, when are you going to Penglai? Lin Luoran can feel the overflowing wood reiki without young Lisha pointing it out. This small yard is nourished by the reiki overflowing from the acacia tree. There are several kinds of flowers and trees blooming out of season. The vines all over the wall are even more luxuriant. Can't young Lisha lock the reiki of the acacia tree? I have sorted out the clues of Penglai. When are you going to leave? Where is the soul wood? Young Lisha's question makes Lin Luoran unable to escape. She is silent for a while. I will take you to find the soul wood in a month. Lin Luoran comes out of the flower shop of Yang's family. Yuan Yi and Zheng Tian both hear their conversation. Lin Luoran has never revealed her plan to find Mount Penglai in front of her family. Now she can't hide it anymore. She tells the truth to her 2 apprentices. Master, are you going to look for Mount Penglai? Although Yuan Yi is an individual cultivator, he still has many inheritances. Mount Penglai has always been passed down in ancient books. Yuan Yi doesn't understand why his grandmaster's personal ability is already top in Wuxia. Why does he still want to find Spirit Mountain? Lin Luoran smiles. Yuan Yi, do you know that there are many responsibilities that people can't escape when they are living in the world? For example, as a child, I can't watch my mother turn into a pile of bones after 100 years. It is said that there is a way for mortals to shape the Taoist root in Mount Penglai. Therefore I have to go there sooner or later. Zheng Tian became a monk halfway and didn't know the dangers. Grandmaster, have you planned for a long time? Lin Luoran nods. It has been 7 or 8 years since I knew that there was a turning point in Mount Penglai. I've long decided to find Penglai. It wasn't until I met this demoness that I got some clues about Penglai. This is also the reason why I'm anxious to bear my gold core. I haven't been able to make up my mind to set off because I really don't have much confidence. Your cultivation levels aren't high enough either. If something happens to your families, I'm afraid you won't be able to take care of them. Besides, Lin Luoran's decision is not a mistake. Yuan Yi and Zheng Tian just feel the pressure. If Lin Luoran's trip is delayed for several years, can the two of them support the Lin family? Seeing Yuan Ye's ferocious face, Lin Luoran is not so worried. I will leave in a month. According to the hint, the Dragon Palace should be unsealed. It will be given to you then. If there is any danger that can't be solved, you can go in with your relatives and friends. Store more food. Even if someone drains the water of Dongting, they can't find the entrance. Yuan Yi nods. Zheng Tian feels the atmosphere is too depressing. He laughs and says that the first school brother has become the turtle prime minister, and Yuan Yi is beaten up. The three of them return to Lin's house as if nothing has happened. The stars are bright tonight, but no one is in the mood to appreciate the moon. No one notices that in the distant sky, there seems to be a star flashing at an abnormal frequency for a while, and then calms down. Goldie, it's okay here. Let's stop. Lin Luoran rides on Goldie in the air, and chooses a mountain kernel. This is the rainforest on the border of Yunnan and Burma. She is going to transplant the soulwood here. Choosing a place with few people, Lin Luoran flashes into the space and begins to dig the tree hard. Space was becoming more and more arbitrary. When would the rule of not being able to use spells be changed? Lin Luoran takes the shovel and digs the soil. The soulwood can't be held by two people, and its roots are too deep. It takes her a long time to dig with her strength. When she is tired of digging, she picks a red persimmon. It is soft and sweet, and saves the step of cooking it with chaff. This is the advantage of the space. The more Lin Luoran cultivates, the more she can't imagine what kind of realm she has to reach to make a magic weapon like the space. Lin Luoran picks the persimmon, pulls a peanut and eats it. Then she starts to dig the tree again. When the soulwood leaves the soil layer, it depends on the 3 residents in the space to support it. Otherwise, many spirit herbs will be smashed to death by this big guy. Lin Luoran grabs the branch with one hand. With a thought, she has already gone out of the space with the tree. Goldie is almost crushed by the soulwood. It stares at its unscrupulous master, and flutters its wings to fly aside. Lin Luoran smiles awkwardly. She contributes an elixir to please Goldie. She chooses a high place where there will be no water. It is much more convenient for her to use spells of the water outside the space. She makes a big pit and plants the soulwood with the help of the wind. Lin Luoran tries to make it look like it has always been here. However, it still looks a little weird. Lin Luoran finds that other trees in the rainforest are covered with moss and entangled with parasites. She imitates them and decorates the trunk of the tree. Now it looks much more pleasing to the eye. The soulwood accelerated by the crazy Taoist is more than 10 meters in diameter, and as high as a building. The one Lin Luoran takes out is only 3,000 years old, with a diameter of 3 meters and a height of less than 50 meters. Its leaves are not mature yet, so it can't wrap a person like the leaves of the soulwood that have been sped up. Because of this, the soulwood is not so conspicuous in the mountains where there are so many trees on the border of Yunnan and Burma. Lin Luoran has to find a birthplace for the soulwood. She can't take the soulwood out of the space, no matter whether the monster can see through her decorations or not. After planting the tree, Lin Luoran is very satisfied. She takes out a piece of white paper and folds it into a paper crane. People without a master are always like this. She even needs the monster to teach her how to fold paper cranes. Young Lisha says that this way of sending letters by paper cranes is beyond the scope of spells. Simple spells can't make a paper crane fly over thousands of mountains and rivers to find the recipient. It is more accurate than a person's character. It is not like a mobile phone that has no signal or radio waves that can be intercepted. It can even shelter from the rain on rainy days. It is really a must-have for home travel. Transcendental spells are spells of nature, aren't they? However, this little spell of nature is too simple. The experience taught by the monster reminds Lin Luoran of the mind study proposed by Wang Yangming, a famous scholar in the Ming dynasty of Wuxia. This little spell of nature is very simple. Lin Luoran keeps folding paper cranes with her spiritual mind and wants them to fly. After folding at least 10,000 cranes, the cranes will fly by themselves. Lin Luoran felt it was a joke at that time. What kind of spell of nature is this? Young Lisha laughed at her for not knowing it. This little spell of nature seems simple, but it can only be used by cultivators above the level of laying foundation. Lin Luoran may not be so talented. She only feels the subtle connection between herself and the paper cranes after folding more than 15,000 cranes. When the paper cranes fly out of her hand without spells of nature, Lin Luoran is shocked as if it was the first time she cultivated. Lin Luoran releases the little paper cranes that deliver messages and takes Goldie to walk around nearby. Lin Luoran is also very interested in the unique species of the rainforest. She chooses along the way and adds a lot of them into the space. There are unknown trees that can quench thirst with sap and wild vines full of delicious berries. Lin Luoran also transplants mosquito-catching grass into the space. She finds some semi-mature wild rice. Peeling off the husk, the rice inside is turquoise. This is a species she has never heard of before. Lin Luoran transplants it carefully. There are also plants with tubers like yams and leaves bigger than lotus leaves. Lin Luoran sees wild boars eating them. She also picks up 2 pieces and throws them into the space. When transplanting plants like yams, Lin Luoran finds black epiphyllum that was transplanted into the space a long time ago. Since she opened the Sea of Consciousness, it has never seen flowers again. It is the earliest plant in the space. Lin Luoran has been cultivating for more than 10 years. Does this black epiphyllum have been growing for thousands of years? Lin Luoran takes a closer look. Is the dot hidden in the middle of the leaves a flower bud? Lin Luoran is happy at first, but then she is disappointed. Ice grass also began to have flower buds many years ago. She has never seen it blossom until now. It feels like some big holes in the story. Readers angrily leave comments saying that they can't see the ending in their lifetime. They can only wait for their grandchildren to sweep it to Lin Luoran during the new year. If one day equals 1 year, Lin Luoran still feels that there are many opportunities to see ice grass and black epiphyllum blossom. She secretly cheers herself up. After walking in the rainforest, the impatient female monster Yang Lisha still hasn't arrived. Lin Luoran now feels that time is precious and she can't waste it like this. She takes out the alchemy furnace and prepares to make several more batches of elixirs. Both fostering chi bolus and gathering chi bolus are grade 1 elixirs. In the later stage, the effect is not as good as before. If the Lin family cultivates laying foundation, it will be even more like eating jelly beans. The prescription of elixirs given by White Fairy is really limited, and the effects of several grade 2 elixirs are quite weak. Lin Luoran remembers that Wood Wolf even knows the prescription of bone marrow cleansing bolus. Maybe it knows something else. She asks Goldie to hunt on its own, and she enters the space again. Last time Lin Luoran cheated the prescription of bone marrow cleansing bolus. Wood Wolf is full of resentment. Hearing that Lin Luoran comes to inquire about free information again, the hair on its face stands up. Hey, what did you want to tell me last time? Now we have a lot of time. Why don't you tell me? Lin Luoran is about to have a casual conversation, but Wood Wolf feels timid first. Like the silver fish, it hesitates for a long time. It still doesn't tell Lin Luoran what conspiracy it is to tempt her with bone marrow cleansing bolus last time. Chapter 373. Lin Luoran finally learns 2 new prescriptions of boluses. Beginner bolus, in the middle of grade 2, can strengthen the body and nourish Wakan. It is the most effective bolus for cultivators who have just laid foundation. It can help them adapt to the transformation of Reiki into Wakan and stabilize their personal ability in the early stage of laying foundation. Spirit crossing bolus, in the lower grade of grade 3, can converge Reiki and build a bridge. It is the most effective one for cultivators in the early stage of laying foundation. Lin Luoran checks the spirit herbs in her space. She doesn't lack spirit herbs for beginner bolus, but she lacks 2 auxiliary herbs for spirit crossing bolus. The 100-year-old bamboo root dew grows in the roots of 100-year-old bamboos. It is even rarer and more precious than truffles. Lin Luoran also grows a bunch of bamboos in her space. It has been more than 100 years. She digs out the roots, but she doesn't find anything that matches the description. However, she harvests a few tender bamboo shoots, which make her feel helpless. She decides to make beginner bolus first. She has even made grade 4 foundation laying bolus, so she is not afraid of this grade 2 bolus. After bearing essence, Lin Luoran has a stable alchemy fire. She feels it is much easier to make the furnace again. She doesn't have to worry about controlling the fire anymore. She focuses on the alchemy furnace. Although she is making grade 2 bolus, the success rate is not much lower than that of grade 1 bolus. At dawn the next day, Lin Luoran sees a cloud of green mist coming to the rainforest. It turns into a person on the ground. It is young Lisha. At that time, Lin Luoran has just collected a furnace of boluses, and young Lisha has already seen the soul wood standing between the mountains. Both of them are delighted. Young Lisha even walks around the soul wood a few times to make sure it is real. Then she turns her head and says with a smile, "In fact, as long as you can have the soul wood, I don't care where you find it. Now you have to trouble me to bring it back to Rong City. Don't you think it's troublesome?" Lin Luoran is speechless. She forgets that the person in front of her is not an ordinary cultivator. She is a monster of plants. Young Lisha can tell whether the soul wood is real or not at a glance. However, young Lisha doesn't agree. If Lin Luoran takes it out in Rong City, young Lisha will know that there is such a big tree in it all of a sudden. How are you going to bring it back? Lin Luoran has never seen the monster fight with vines in Lin's house. She is curious about the monster's skills. Young Lisha glances at her, puts her hands together, and makes a lotus hand gesture. The soul wood pulls its roots out of the soil by itself. This is the ability to control plants, so it is not strange. What is strange is that young Lisha changes the hand gesture, and the soul wood shrinks at a speed visible to the naked eye. After a while, the towering tree, which is tens of meters high, becomes a realistic model with complete roots. It shrinks into a small tree about 1 foot high. Young Lisha easily holds it in her hand. Was this also a spell? Lin Luoran remembers that in the Tower of Babel, the monster ancestor of the monsters of wood shrunk young Lisha and held her in his hand. Young Lisha fell to the ground and became a human again. No matter how wonderful the spell is, it is just the use of Reiki in the world. Lin Luoran can't understand what Jiha and young Lisha are doing. Don't be too envious. Anyway, we are going to Penglai someday. According to the ancient books, there are not only some jade maps that record spells, but also some unimaginable magic arts in the mortal world. Lin Luoran shakes her head. I just want to find a way to shape the Taoist root for mortals. It doesn't matter if it's spells or magic arts. As long as I succeed in my cultivation, I will learn them one day. There is no hurry. Young Lisha is in a good mood after getting the soul wood. She thinks for a while and tells the truth. Where did you hear that there is a way to shape the Taoist root for mortals in Mount Penglai? If there is no such way, you are risking your life for nothing. Lin Luoran is speechless. She was also skeptical when she first read the records in the Chronicle of the 9 Provinces. But the records in the Dongting Dragon Palace are true, so she believes in this travel book. If there is no way to shape the Taoist root for mortals in Penglai, what should she do? Young Lisha sees Lin Luoran's changing expression. She sighs and puts a green bead between Lin Luoran's eyebrows. Whether there is what you are looking for in Mount Penglai or not, our 3 agreements have been officially completed. This is the entrance to Mount Penglai. If I cheat, I am willing to suffer the thunder punishment of the Tao of Nature. Cultivators, whether they are cultivators or monsters, have to obey the God's oath. Young Lisha really doesn't need to curse herself on this point. After checking the memory bead, Lin Luoran nods with certainty. Who knows what everyone will face in the next second if they don't go to the crossroads? Lin Luoran must go to Mount Penglai so that she can live up to her mother's life and fight for the destiny of heaven for her mother. The 3 agreements with the female monster are completed. Lin Luoran gets the news of Penglai, and the female monster gets the soul wood. Neither of them wants to stay in this wild mountain. Yang Lisha turns into mist and leaves. Lin Luoran also returns to our city on Goldie. It is only 8 o'clock when she gets home. Mrs. Lin has been used to her daughter's mysterious behavior. She doesn't feel surprised. Mrs. Lin adds a pair of chopsticks and asks Lin Luoran to have breakfast. Rong Donglin is still recovering at home, so Mrs. Lin gives Sister Rong a day off. Mrs. Lin makes mung bean porridge herself. Lin Luoran drinks 2 bowls in a row. After so many years, the porridge made by her mother is the most homely one. Lin Luoran is very greedy. She wants to eat it all the time. The family will live and die together and never be separated. Only 2 apprentices of the Lin family know the truth. Lin Luoran hasn't found a chance to tell her parents about her plan. She is a cautious person. She is afraid that her trip will be delayed for several years and her return date is uncertain. A large number of jade boxes she ordered from Fatty Chui a few years ago can finally be put into use. Lin Luoran picks some mature spirit herbs in the space and fills more than 100 jade boxes. Ginseng of thousands of years is a must. Poria cocos of hundreds of years are not qualified to be put into jade boxes. They are all spirit herbs that can prolong life. They can be used to make elixirs and prolong life at critical moments. What if the jade boxes are not enough? She exchanges elixirs for a few storage bags from the special department. She simply packs the less valuable spirit herbs one by one and seals them all. Lin Luoran divides these spirit herbs into 2 parts and gives them to Yuan Yi and Zheng Tian respectively for safekeeping. Lin Luoran also gives the formula of bolus and the grade 2 alchemy furnace to Yuan Yi. Grandmaster. Yuan Yi is in a heavy mood. He always feels that Lin Luoran is making funeral arrangements. Putting aside this ominous thought, Yuan Yi is also not relaxed. When I come back, you should also make a few furnaces of elixirs. Lin Luoran spends a lot of money this time. Although she plans to prepare for a rainy day, it is also true that she wants Yuan Yi to take the opportunity to make elixirs. She pulls out 2 acres of medicine garden. Yuan Yi stares at all kinds of spirit herbs in the storage bag. He is speechless with his eyes wide open. He has always known that his grandmaster is good at cultivating spirit herbs, but he doesn't expect that he will keep such a large amount of wealth. If people in the world of personal ability know that his grandmaster has so many spirit herbs, some of them may get excited and forget that his grandmaster is in the level of bearing essence. Money moves people's hearts. Yuan Yi calms down and secretly warns himself that he must be more cautious when using this batch of spirit herbs in the future. Lin Luoran thinks for a while, and passes the primary introduction of swords to Zheng Tian. This guy is obsessed with swordsmanship and has a good eye. He can see that the primary introduction is extraordinary. Lin Luoran secretly tells him that this is the lost primary introduction of Zhu Mountain. Zheng Tian follows in the footsteps of his senior school brother. He can't stay calm with bulging eyes. How many good treasures does his young grandmaster have? Don't be too happy. I hope you will never need it. Listen, if I don't come back after 10 years and the Lin family is in danger, you can give the complete introduction of Swords of Zhu Mountain to Wen Guanjing. Let Zhu Mountain protect you once and retreat to the Dragon Palace. Zheng Tian promises. Grandmaster, with your personal ability, are you sure you can go to Penglai this time? Why doesn't he come back for more than 10 years? Lin Luoran thinks for a while. You are also a cultivator. You should know that there are countless legends in the state of Wuxia. Some of them are half true and half false. You have to believe them. There was a woodcutter watching chess in the deep mountain. When the game was over, his axe handle had already decayed. How long do you think it took? There was also a child who met an immortal. When he went down the mountain, his playmates all had white hair on their temples. Only he looked the same. Since ancient times, there have been real immortals in Penglai. I think about it secretly. People say that one day in heaven is 1 year in the human world. What if I delay for a few days and make you worry for nothing? What Lin Luoran says makes sense. Zheng Tian is skeptical. Lin Luoran finds an opportunity to send the spells of the level of laying foundation and the knowledge taught by White Fairy into Luodong's mind. including several magic circles whose effects she has already figured out. She makes a lot of elixirs and puts them in the Dragon Palace. She also stores tens of thousands of pounds of rice planted in the space in the Dragon Palace. It is already the middle of October. Everyone is in the Mid-Autumn Festival this year. Lin Luoran makes a toast and tells them that she wants to go far away. The table full of fat crabs suddenly feels boring. Except for Yuan Yi, Zheng Tian and Luodong, everyone else is shocked and feels that it is not right to go to Penglai for the first time. Luoran, that is the legendary spirit mountain. How can mortals like us go there? Mrs. Lin still doesn't know why Lin Luoran wants to go to Penglai. Cui Wanlu is smart. She rolls her eyes and knows that everyone doesn't want her grandmaster to go. She says that she hasn't trained Qi yet. How can her grandmaster leave her alone? Lin Luoran picks her up. You little liar. I said I would teach you a few days ago. Who pestered Luodong to teach her the formula? Cui Wanlu is exposed. She is so shy that she hides beside her father, Fatty Cui. Li doesn't know the sorrow of separation. She picks up a crab casually and says while peeling it, Sister, can you take me there this time? Lin Luoran shakes her head. Your personal ability is too low. If I were you, I would stay at home and do closed-door training. Li's words make her speechless. Except for Lin Luoran, she has the highest personal ability here. Why can't she show up? She is not convinced at first, but she suddenly says with a bitter face, I really can't go. My master has been in closed-door training recently. I guess he is going to lay foundation soon. Without someone to talk to him, Mr. Xi's psychological quality will be terrible. Chapter 374. Lin Luoran writes Yuan Ye's name on the golden book and lends him the stamp of the Dragon King. Yuan Yi is now Lin Luoran's official of the Dragon Palace. He is not a member of the water nationality, so he can't go to many places. However, he can go in and out of the Dragon Palace freely. Lin Luoran also asks for the bone boat that Mr. Lin and Yuan Yi once brought back. If she can refine it on the way, it will be useful on the way to Penglai. Lin Luoran is about to go on a long journey. She realizes that she is interested in many places. She goes to the capital to visit Commander Qin and Grandpa Gua. Grandpa Mu has been in closed-door training for several years. When Lin Luoran meets him, he is in the late laying foundation period. If they keep going like this, they are likely to bear essence in their lifetime. Seeing Lin Luoran, Grandpa Mu remembers the large number of magic cores he collected in the Bauhinia Empire. These things grow in the body of high-level monsters. The locals call them magic cores. Gua and I have been studying them for a long time. There is a lot of energy in them. We can't extract it at all. Here, you can play with them. Grandpa Mu grabs a handful of colorful crystals and hands them to Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran feels them with her eyes closed for a while. She nods in agreement. They are completely different from Reiki. However, they are not as pure as Reiki. They are not so weak that they can be played with. We can't extract them now, but we can't tell when the technology improves. How many have you and Grandpa Gua collected? Grandpa Mu smiles and hands her a storage bag. The bag is full of magic cores of various colors. Some of them are even inlaid with delicate mahogany wands. Ignoring the power inside, these magic cores really look like the colorful gems on the earth. Take it. You can play with them. Gua and I still have 2 big bags. The power of these things can't be extracted. They are just beautiful stones for cultivators. Lin Luoran doesn't feel pressured to take them and throws them into the space. After waiting for a long time in the fragrant hill villa, Grandpa Gua finally comes. He is also very happy to see Lin Luoran and laughs heartily. Lin Pei Yuan, the young man you recommended, is very good. He has a solid basic knowledge and an open mind. He just helped us solve a big problem a few days ago. Lin Luoran asks and learns that Grandpa Gua and others have reached the stage of the energy reactor. Pei Yuan puts forward a new idea, which opens up a new field for Grandpa Gua and others. Lin Luoran is fascinated by his words. At this rate, maybe in less than 10 years, human beings will be able to travel among the stars. The 2 old men and the young girl are good friends. The maple leaves turn the mountain red. The three of them can't even remember how much spirit wine they have drunk. When Master Mu and Master Guo wake up, Lin Luoran is already gone. She was an excessively outstanding member of the younger generation. Interacting with her made the two elders feel pressured, and they couldn't slack off in their cultivation. Is there still no news from your Xiao-san? The lingering effect of the spirit wine was too strong. Old Guo rubbed his temples and thought about it again. Master Mu sighs. Mu Tiannan returned to New York a few years ago and disappeared in less than a month. No one knows whether he is still alive or not. Mu Tiannan's parents are so worried. Too much wisdom is bound to be hurt. Perhaps he will come back once he has thought things through. This topic is not pleasant. Master Guo also regrets bringing up his old friend's sad story. Lin Luoran certainly doesn't know the conversation between the two elders. The burden on her shoulders is too heavy, and she has no time to think about it. There used to be a playboy in the Mu family who always showed up in front of her. Since the day Baojia fell asleep with the soul wood, she hasn't seen him for several years. Lin Luoran only feels lonely about love when she is tired of cultivation occasionally. If she also has a pair of shoulders to shelter her from wind and rain, she won't have to work so hard, right? Lin Luoran turns her head and throws such thoughts to the back of her mind. She doesn't know when she has been used to relying on others. She is becoming the object of many people's dependence. She can't afford to be weak. After going to the capital, Lin Luoran returns to the Naku grassland again. In the warm spring valley of the snow mountain, a pure white horse feels the breath of its master and raises its head. Zhe Yitong's yurt is no longer there. Lin Luoran follows the breath of the jade plate to the silver lake. The little girl seems to have grown taller after a few months. Seeing Lin Luoran suddenly descending from the sky, she can't hide her surprise. Ajia, you said I could come here next year. Zhe Yitong's eyes are shining. Lin Luoran touches her head. Why? Aren't you happy to see me in advance? Zhe Yitong shakes her head fiercely. Where are your mother Dunju and Nana? Only Zhe Yitong is in the yurt. Lin Luoran uses her spiritual mind to explore the surroundings, but she doesn't see Dunju grazing. My mother took Nana to the hospital for a checkup. Since Nana took the medicine you left, all her old diseases have been cured. Dunju's mother said that she must take Nana to have a checkup regularly, so that she can see me get married. Zhe Yitong is a girl on the grassland. She doesn't shy about getting married at all. Lin Luoran thinks for a while, and asks her if she would like to go to school in the city. Zhe Yitong doesn't want to leave home, but Lin Luoran knows that the little girl can't make the decision. She can only wait for Dunju to come back. They are talking outside the yurt when White Cloud comes like lightning. Lin Luoran keeps it on the grassland in order to set it free, but White Cloud seems a little aggrieved. Seeing the horse rubbing against her sleeves, Lin Luoran comforts it for a while. When I come back, I'll take you to see the famous mountains in the center of Chuan province, okay? White Cloud twists its neck, throwing a tantrum. Lin Luoran has no choice but to carry Zhe Yitong to the back of the horse. They ride White Cloud to the snow mountain and play in the snow and ice. They don't come back until it's dark. Lin Luoran thinks that Dunju and Nana may not come back until the next day. Lin Luoran and Zhe Yitong prepare dinner while talking and laughing. When they are about to start, a truck stops outside the yurt. Dunju and Nana come back by hitchhiking. They politely ask the driver to get down and have dinner together. The enthusiastic herdsman is anxious to go home, but the truck still drives away. They lift the blanket and are stunned to see Lin Luoran. They have been together for so long and they are like a family. How can they not miss her? However, Lin Luoran has regained her memory. She is obviously a girl from the big city with her own life. They can't let her stay on the grassland to graze for the rest of her life. Why didn't you say hello? Why did you suddenly come here? Dunju is so friendly. Lin Luoran smiles. I came here to see you and to ask if Zhe Yitong would like to go to school in the city. Dunju doesn't think much about it. She only says it depends on Zhe Yitong's opinion. Even Mrs. Lin doesn't know the hardships and dangers of going to Penglai. Lin Luoran certainly won't tell Zhe Yitong's family and make them worry. Seeing that Nana is healthy, the family must be happy to graze on the grassland, right? In this case, why should she stick to Zhe Yitong's future? It's not necessary to go to college and read a lot of books to be happy. Sometimes happiness is peace and contentment with the current life, right? She takes it for granted. Lin Luoran thinks it through and doesn't mention this topic anymore. She only tells them to go to Rong City to find the Lin family if they have any problems. Even if I have nothing to do, I will go to Rong City to have fun. Dunju looks relaxed and nods in agreement. When Lin Luoran leaves the next day, Zhe Yitong's family and White Cloud are also reluctant to leave. She is reluctant to fly with the wind. She waves to Zhe Yitong's family who are guarding on the grassy slope several times. They are still guarding and don't want to leave in advance. White Cloud even sends her all the way to the edge of the kilometer. Seeing a motorcade passing by, it disappears reluctantly under the sky. After walking around, Lin Luoran, who is a little anxious, finally calms down. Penglai is dangerous. Her previous state of mind will not reduce the danger even a little bit. Anxiety can't help the current situation. She has always been indifferent. Maybe it is the way to survive. Fighting for the family she cares about, Lin Luoran can always give birth to infinite potential. Sure enough, no matter how high her personal ability enhancement is, she is still the same Lin Luoran who can't be trampled on. She walks around and goes home easily. Without gloominess, the two apprentices first notice the change of their grandmaster's mood. Lin Luoran goes to Weifang to nag again. The Lin family prepares a sumptuous farewell dinner for her. Her relaxed mood infects everyone. Lin Luoran drinks a lot of spirit wine. When she wakes up the next morning, everyone is still asleep. Lin Luoran quietly casts the wind-riding spell and leaves. After calming down, she has a little fear about the trip to Penglai, but she is also not afraid of the difficult challenge. After she leaves Rong City, Yang Lisha closes her eyes and wakes up in the Yang family's flower shop. She sighs slightly. If they didn't know each other for too much interest, they could be a pair of close friends. They are both persistent people. Yang Lisha looks at the acacia tree with undisguised persistence. In her palm is the shrunken soul wood. The acacia tree has run out of Reiki and can't be moved. Yang Lisha can only choose this backyard as the circle eye. She is willing to take care of flowers and trees in this shop for 500 years, just waiting for the moment when Voidy wakes up and sees her first. A green light fills the entire small yard, and the fog is rolling. The next day, the neighbors get up and find that the acacia tree planted for several years in the house of the easygoing Yang is gone. It is replaced by a tall tree that no one knows. The leaves are big and soft, which makes the neighbors talk for a long time. Lin Luoran has gone to Penglai. She will never know that a young foreign girl comes to Rong City with a large consortium. She is a financial genius at Harvard and has a keen sense of numbers that others can't reach. The country of Wuxia is both familiar and strange to her. Although she has never been here, she has been paying attention to this eastern country over the years. There is the person she is looking for here. One day, the assistant opens the door of the hotel room and spreads a roll of meticulous drawings in front of her. The foreign woman touches the drawing and shows a happy expression. Director, people here say that she is called Mortal Heart Fairy. Wuxia people can't stop pretending to be mysterious. Before the assistant can finish her words, she has been sternly stopped by the foreign woman. Who painted this? Take me to her. Anna, you should know that she is very important to me. She really looks like her. Has she finally found her after searching for 2 years? Anna has no choice but to say. It is a young female painter, a stubborn and lovely girl from Wuxia. She only paints pictures of fairies, but she is a little famous. I want to see this female painter. She must have seen the real person to paint her like this. After the assistant goes out, the young foreign director turns on the computer. There is not only the profile of Lin Luoran riding a hawk in the air, but also a blurry photo of flying in colorful clothes over Mount June. As she said, she has been trying to find the fairy who suddenly appeared in the snowstorm that year. A red rope goes through a jade plate. 2 silhouettes, one big and one small, make the young foreign director think about them for many years. Some people are just like this. They are as indifferent as water, but they always do something casually. Before they know it, they have already changed the ordinary or humble fate of others. Just like that year, a misty white light entered her head. Along the way, her sharp analysis and memory allowed her to gradually understand what kind of favor this was. Chapter 375. Since ancient times, mirages have always appeared near Penglai on the Jiadong Peninsula. Someone said that there were 3 immortal mountains overseas named Penglai, Fangzhong, and Yingzhou. The earliest record in the history of Wuxia was probably the records of the Grand Historian, which described that there were 3 spirit mountains overseas, and the palaces were all made of gold and jade. Of course, this was a fallacy of mortals. Not to mention the value of gold in the eyes of immortals, probably no real immortal had the same taste as the dragon clan, who would wrap the entire palace in such a vulgar thing as gold. The world of cultivation was filled with countless treasures. How could the spirit mountain, which was said to have real immortals, only be made of gold and jade? Lin Luoran comes all the way to Bohai Sea. She rents a sea view house in Yantai, where she can overlook the bay and observe the sky. She lives next to Bohai Bay. She had a small space with her, so she didn't have to worry about daily necessities. She lived in seclusion and spent most of her time refining the skeleton ship and observing the celestial phenomena. Lin Luoran doesn't know how many difficulties Mr. Lin and the others have gone through to catch this sea monster. Lin Luoran calcines it for a long time. The skeleton is more translucent than before, and there are not many impurities removed. Lin Luoran took out a lot of gold from the Dragon Palace. She purified the pure gold and rearranged the skeleton ship. The joints of the ship were connected with the pure gold, making the ship as stable as a mountain. She also engraved a wind-riding array, a defense array, and a miniaturization array at the bottom of the ship, which could shrink the skeleton ship to the size of a model. Lin Luoran doesn't have many ways to attack. After thinking for a while, she takes 2 diamonds of fire, which are born with the strange fire as the core of the magic circle. In this way, the bone boat can attack with the power of fire. She also took advantage of the quiet night to test the boat. That night, the tide was turbulent, and the small skeleton boat rose and fell with the waves. No matter how high the waves rose, it was still as stable as a rock. The boat sailed against the current, and because of the wind-riding array, although it did not make the boat fly, it was very fast on the sea. Lin Luoran is very satisfied with the effect of the skeleton ship. Now she is waiting for the opportunity to enter Penglai. Penglai is indeed in the Bohai Sea. The description of the mirage is not necessarily false. However, mortals do not know that the opportunity to enter the real Spirit Mountain Sea area is only a quarter of an hour a year. Therefore, Lin Luoran needs to observe the sky at night, and she needs a fast boat. In a quarter of an hour, she has to cross the Strait of the Sea of Sin to enter the real sea area where Spirit Mountain is located in the different space. Perhaps in the eyes of the immortals, the sins of mortals were too heavy and unworthy of stepping into the celestial land. Only by washing away their sins could they have the opportunity to see the immortals. The information Yang Lisha gives is recorded in the ancient books of the monsters of wood before the monster ancestor of the monsters of wood went to Penglai to learn powerful arts of nature. How did the ancestor of the monsters of wood cross the Sea of Sin? In the blink of an eye. It was winter, and the weather in Yantai was getting colder. This was an oceanic climate, and the temperature difference in the winter was not huge. However, due to the high dimension, it was common for snow to fall below -12 degrees Celsius. It was still fine indoors as there was heating. However, for those who worked outdoors, especially in a place like the harbor where the sea breeze blew, the cold sea breeze could make them stomp their feet in the cold. In order to be less eye-catching, Lin Luoran wears thicker clothes. That night, she wears a thick hat and goes around the harbor again. However, she still finds nothing under the surprised eyes of the night shift workers. When it was not snowing, the starry sky in winter was not clear. It was not easy for Lin Luoran to find the special celestial phenomenon that only appeared once a year even if she had the most powerful telescope. Lin Luoran wanted to go home several times because of the fruitless wait. However, she held back. It was not easy to summon up the courage. She was afraid that she would not leave until she missed her family. Therefore, she lived in Yantai for a few months. The Lin family only thought that she had gone to Penglai. In fact, they had not even found the entrance. Lin Luoran also asked the three kings in the space. For Fire Phoenix, it was the most powerful in the world. It had never heard of Mount Punglai. Wood Wolf had heard of it, but at that time, there were no immortals in the world. The so-called Spirit Mountain also existed in the ancient books. As for the silverfish, its memory was sometimes good and sometimes bad. Lin Luoran did not expect it to know anything. She was so bored that she arranged the order of the three monsters according to their different reactions. Fire Phoenix called her Chi Trainer. This name was very old. Obviously, Fire Phoenix had lived for a longer time. The fake Saintess also called her Chi Trainer. If the fake Saintess came to the earth from the time of the 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors and followed the ancient name, then Fire Phoenix might have lived before the time of the 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors. It was hard to say how old the silver fish was. However, it did not call her Chi Trainer. It had also heard of Wood Wolf's father, which was before Wood Wolf. In the era when the Little Wolf King lived, only Punglai was mentioned in the ancient books. There were no signs of immortals in the world. Even the youngest of the 3 monsters was still unimaginably old compared with Lin Luoran. While she was waiting, it was the new year of 2019. The streets of Yantai were full of lively people. On New Year's Eve, Lin Luoran cooked a large pot of dumplings and ate them up. At night, she could not sleep because she missed her family. She tossed and turned. The sea breeze blew on the balcony and the curtains fluttered. Lin Luoran lay on the chaise lounge and looked at the sky. The North Star in the night sky suddenly flashed 9 times without any warning. Lin Luoran thought she was dazzled. She turned over and sat up. The North Star cast a misty and easily ignored white light on a certain sea area. It flashed 9 times again. The opportunity came so suddenly that Lin Luoran didn't even have time to clean up. She made a gesture with the wind and chased after it in the air. In winter there was no fishing in Yantai. The sea was quiet. Only occasional cargo ships saw the signal light of the lighthouse. When they looked carefully, the North Star was no longer unusual. It was indeed a signal light. However, it was just a star as a lamp to point out the immortal path for mortals. People who could see it didn't know the truth. The North Star kept its appointment every year, but there was no immortal fate. In the blink of an eye, Lin Luoran had appeared in the water 50 nautical miles away from the shore. 9 was the most honorable number. The North Star sent out a signal at this time. It flashed 9 times each time. There would be 9 times in total. The place was different every time. It gradually went to the deep sea. When these routes are connected, the Sea of Sin will appear when the last signal light goes out. Lin Luoran chased after the light curtain and flew over the sea. The signal flashed very fast. If this was a chance to point the way to Spirit Mountain for mortals, those ordinary people definitely couldn't catch up with this speed. No wonder Emperor Qin and Emperor Hanwu sent people to search for Spirit Mountain with all their strength, but they didn't find anything. Even if they knew it, without the help of cultivators, they couldn't even catch the tail of the signal flashing with ancient navigation technology. Lin Luoran still had the leisure to think about these things while chasing the light. She had to admit that her state of mind was very calm. Because next she was going to face the Sea of Sin. As the name suggests, it was a place to wash sins. If she didn't calm down, the bone boat she drove would be capsized in an instant. From then on, the Sea of Sin would float and sink. She would become a fierce wind of resentful spirits in the straight day and night. She would never be reincarnated. This was the reason why she divided her family property to her 2 apprentices, and her brother Lin Luodong after getting the exact news of Punglai. She was really afraid that she would never see them again. The North Star cast the last flashing signal light. Lin Luoran saw that the sea suddenly turned black where the light spot disappeared. It seemed that countless resentful spirits were about to rush out from the gaps of the waves. The bone boat fell into the water and enlarged. As soon as Lin Luoran stood on the bone boat without a mast and a pole, a black wave came over. She disappeared with the boat on the water. Someone on a cargo ship screamed. It turned out that someone saw it, and thought that someone fell into the water. The cargo ship was kind enough to come to search and rescue. But there was no clue at all. In the end, it could only be attributed to the sailor's blurred vision. Of course, They would never have thought that someone had found the entrance to the legendary Spirit Mountain overseas under the black wave for a moment. A black wave came crashing down, and the bone ship lit up a transparent protective shield, blocking the black and sticky seawater outside. One flower and one world were not only seen in Buddhism. Lin Luoran had seen the Dragon Palace and Bermuda. She was not unfamiliar with these different dimensional spaces, which only had one point of contact with the earth, whether man-made or natural. Therefore, when she opened her eyes, she was suddenly in a dark and thick sea. The waves were splashing and the shore was a black strait. However, she was still calm. This is the Sea of Sin. Lin Luoran was silent in her heart. She drove the bone boat forward in silence. Sailing against the current, the sea was turbulent. The sticky black seawater was like a diluted asphalt solution, which seemed to stick to the bottom of the boat firmly. Lin Luoran looked around and found that the road ahead was bleak. She only had a quarter of an hour, which was only 15 minutes in modern time. She had to cross the endless strait. Of course, she had no time to think about it. Black waves kept hitting the hull of the boat. Lin Luoran walked for 5 minutes in silence, but nothing happened. She was so nervous that she couldn't feel at ease. However, at this moment, she heard a voice of nature singing coming from the stormy black foggy sea. Lin Luoran couldn't help but feel frightened. Lin Luoran didn't know what they were singing and she couldn't understand the lyrics. However, the voice was ethereal and sweet. Maybe even the celestial voice of Yaotai in the heavenly palace could not be better than this. Lin Luoran didn't dare to listen carefully, because she was afraid that it was a terrifying magic voice. However, after the boat passed a few waves, she saw a big round stone emerging from the turbulent black waves in the middle of the sea. A long-haired woman with naked upper body was sitting on the round stone and singing. Her lower body hanging on the round stone was not legs but a blue fish tail. Is this a mermaid? The blue pearls inlaid on the sword of bright snow were transformed by the tears of mermaids. They had always been the representative of beauty and charm. It would take a while for the bone boat to reach the round stone. Lin Luoran had already seen the mermaid with the beautiful face of a human woman. She was crying silently to Lin Luoran with a sad face. She is just singing her own song. She doesn't beg Lin Luoran for anything. However, her sad voice and her sad eyes all tell Lin Luoran her purpose. Chapter 376. Amidst the water, there was no sound of love. The mermaid's eyes are full of sadness. She stares at Lin Luoran and asks to take her away. Take her away. This is the Sea of Sin. How can Lin Luoran show her sympathy? Lin Luoran forces herself to look away and stop listening to the mysterious tune. She calms her mind and steers the bone boat to break through the dark tide. In the blink of an eye, she leaves the mermaid and the round stone behind. A shrill scream comes from behind Lin Luoran. She can't help but look back. She sees a big fish with barbs jumping out of the sea and biting off the head of the mermaid with its mouth wide open. The merman's headless body twitched powerlessly. Its tail slapped the round rock a few times before sliding into the Black Sea. Lin Luoran's mind is moved. She can't continue to be old-fashioned. She knew that it was probably an illusion to tempt her Taoist heart, but because she was not a heartless person, she could not help but think, if she really brought the mermaid on board, would she be able to avoid the disaster of death? Because of this, his Dao heart had opened up, and his technique of controlling the bone ship was not as precise. Lin Luoran's eyes become confused. She vaguely hears the sound of apes coming from both sides of the sea. The wind is blowing in the dark sea. A black shadow comes to her and turns into a person that Lin thought she has almost forgotten. The young Zhou Yaowei shook his glass at her in the Blue Bird Club. At that time, she was young and vigorous. She went there alone and met Wen Guanjing for the first time. He was the legitimate heir of the One family in Zhu Mountain. Lin Luoran was just an ignorant rookie on the path of cultivation. How dare she stand next to Wen Guanjing? He must have been driven mad by what happened to Baojia. He must have been driven mad by the fact that cultivators don't take mortals seriously. He has seriously injured Zhou Yaowei. Lin Luoran comes out from the blood pool in the underground palace. The Lin family has been forced into a corner by Zhou Yao. He humiliates Baojia and injures Mr. Lin. Lin Luoran kills him without hesitation. I didn't do anything wrong. Your inner demon can't trap me. Lin Luoran comes back to herself from the past. Her eyes are firm. If killing was a sin, she would not regret killing Zhou Yaowei at all. Those who seek Tao must not commit the sin of killing. However, if she was bullied by others and could not fight back, then she might as well not cultivate Tao. As soon as she finishes her words, Zhou Yaowei in front of her disintegrates into pieces. When Lin Luoran is about to cast a spell to move forward, the fragments return to normal and become the middle-aged couple holding hands. They were Zhou Yaowei's parents. There's nothing wrong with killing my son, but what about us? Have we ever humiliated or harmed you? Zhou Guojun looks dignified. His official prestige is very strong. At first glance, Zhou Guojun is in a high position and holds great power. Lin Luoran doesn't even dare to look up to such a big shot, let alone question him face to face. You vicious woman, return my wearer's life. Madame Zhou's tone was overbearing, her words sinister. These two people were a perfect match, truly a noble couple. You can't answer, can you? Hypocritical, vicious woman. Lin Luoran lowers her head. She remembers burning down the Zhou's house and killing the Zhou couple. If she could go back in time, she would still choose to kill the Zhou couple without hesitation to avoid future troubles. However, facing the torture of the devil inside, Lin Luoran presses her lips tightly. She can't refute that she is not wrong. In this world, there is no such thing as hurting one's own family. Lin Luoran is just taking precautions. After killing Zhou Yaowei, she also hurt the Zhou family. Not only did she kill Zhou Yaowei's parents, but she also indirectly caused the collapse of the Zhou family. Time flies. This is the only flaw in her Taoist heart since she started cultivation. Lin Luoran can't refute. The two figures are approaching her step by step. Lin Luoran clenches her fists. The bone boat stops at this crucial moment. Outside the misty protective shield, the Zhou couple is arrogant. Lin Luoran presses her lips tightly without saying a word. She hasn't crossed half of the long strait, but time waits for no one. A quarter of an hour. She only has a quarter of an hour to cross the Sea of Sin. Otherwise, she will stay here forever like the mermaid and never be reincarnated. Lin Luoran's eyes are cold. She thinks of her determination to have a family reunion and cultivate together since she started cultivation. Lin Luoran unconsciously loosens her clenched fists. Since she has become a sin, why should she be afraid that this sin will torture her conscience? What is sin and what is right? So what if it is the Sea of Sin? Can the real immortals in Mount Penglai prove the supreme Tao of immortality without staining their hands? On a lonely boat that is about to be overturned by the strong wind and big waves, there are two arrogant figures in front of the boat. Behind the boat, there are huge waves. Lin Luoran's skirt is blown around by the fierce wind. The woman who is about to be overturned by the huge waves has a disdainful look on her face. She questions the so-called Sea of Sin for the first time. Lin Luoran ignores the shocked expressions of the two wandering souls in front of her and sneers. Even if it is true, you can just take revenge on me openly. You are just a bunch of rascals who take advantage of the Sea of Sin to disturb my mind. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Although I can't refute it loudly, I have no regrets. I don't buy it. The world has always been ruled by the powerful. Do I have to let others bully me, humiliate me, laugh at me, despise me, hate me and lie to me? As a nobody, I can only tolerate him, let him, avoid him, endure him, respect him, and ignore him. After a few more years, I will see if God will accept him or not. The Zhou couple did not directly hurt the Lin family. However, without their connivance and acquiescence, how could Zhou Yaowei end up like this? The two phantoms take off their disguise. They look ferocious. Lin Luoran doesn't retreat this time. She takes a step forward and stands in front of the boat. I don't care if you feel guilty or at ease. When you become successful in personal ability enhancement, there will be heavens doomed to judge you. You ghosts, just disappear. The two phantoms are shattered by her words. A black tornado forms in the Sea of Sin, trying to suck the small bone boat into it. Lin Luoran casts a spell with both hands. The boat goes straight up and goes through the tornadoes of different sizes. Who dares to say that he has never done anything deceptive in his life? The winner is the king, and the loser must be the king. Lin Luoran is not perfect. She has done something deceptive. She has also saved ordinary people, and done a lot of good deeds. Lin Luoran has lived for decades. She may have done something wrong, but she has never done anything wrong. If people don't offend me, I won't offend them. The black wind hurts her cheeks. Lin Luoran's eyes are firm. She steers the boat with both hands, and narrowly avoids the tornadoes and water whirlpools of different sizes. Lin Luoran turns a deaf ear to the howling of the monkeys on both sides of the Sea of Sin. She steers the boat with all her strength. In the blink of an eye, she has crossed more than half of the Sea of Sin. Lin Luoran can see the end of the Black Sea in 3 minutes with her eyesight. It is a soft beach like a paradise on earth. That gentle light made her eyes soften involuntarily. She has 2 minutes to avoid the last big whirlpool. The attraction of the Black Sea makes her unable to relax. When she is about to abandon the boat and go ashore, a wall of water suddenly appears in front of Lin Luoran. The pretty and sorrowful figure stood there, delicate and weak, on the verge of tears. "It's too cold here. Can you stay with me?" The beautiful blue tail, sad expression, big and innocent eyes, and the natural ability to navigate the water. It is the mermaid whose head Lin Luoran thought was bitten off. Was everything that had happened just a hallucination? Chapter 377. How many things in the world are just illusions created by our imagination? In this Black Sea of Sin, the road ahead is a soft beach which represents the hope of survival. However, the beautiful mermaid whose head should have been bitten off is standing in front of the boat. At this moment, Lin Luoran can't tell what is illusion and what is reality. Is it really the ghosts of the 3 members of the Zhou family that she has seen before? Or is it all just a conspiracy of the mermaid in front of her? The water wall blocks the way ahead. There are only 3 minutes left. Does she want to stay with her? Lin Luoran sneers. They both know that mortals who don't cross the Sea of Sin within a quarter of an hour and try to board Penglai will stay in this Sea of Sin forever and can't enter reincarnation. Isn't this the time when the real plan is revealed? Lin Luoran has an idea and summons the bright sword. The blue pearl formed by the tears of the mermaid is particularly dazzling at this moment. Lin Luoran has never thought that one day she will fight the legendary mermaid. This is the favorite of the water nationality. It is born with the powerful ability to manipulate water reiki. Even its tears to the moon can become a material for cultivators to refine magic weapons of the water nationality. What about the mermaid itself? Lin Luoran clenches the hilt of the sword. She tiptoes on the bone boat, and her whole body has been floating in the air. Without the protection of the bone boat, Lin Luoran can hardly keep her figure in the air because of the fierce wind in the Sea of Sin. She flies with the sword in her hand. The flying sword flies out of her hand and slashes at the mermaid in the air. The mermaid laughs at Lin Luoran. The water curtain approaches little by little, like a four-sided cage closing, trying to trap Lin Luoran in it. Lin Luoran's smile is even more dazzling when she sees the indifference of the mermaid. The resentful black seawater splashes up and wets Lin Luoran's clothes. The mermaid smiles complacently. The flying sword is not only of the water nationality, but also based on the blue pearl of mermaid tears. How can such a magic weapon hurt her? As for the Sea of Sin, it is the most poisonous thing in the world. It can corrode bones and flesh and destroy magic weapons. It contains the power of ghosts and is extremely insidious. This human female cultivator is too careless. The mermaid turns into a blue smoke and avoids Lin Luoran's sword light. The bright sword slashes at the void, stirring up several black waves. The sword light makes a sizzling sound. It is indeed a poisonous water that can destroy magic treasures. When the mermaid reappears, she is behind Lin Luoran. Seeing that Lin Luoran covers her face and squats down, she knows that Lin Luoran's face must have been eroded by the water of the Black Sea. She gently pushes Lin Luoran's back. Lin Luoran has fallen into the Sea of Sin and is swept away by the black waves. The mermaid's blue fishtail sweeps in the water, and she can't hide her joy. No one has ever escaped from the Sea of Sin. This human female cultivator is doomed. She grabbed the bright sword that had lost its master's command in the air. The bright sword is still beating, resisting the touch of the mermaid. The mermaid touches the blue pearl on the hilt of the sword and whispers a few words. The bright sword is beating in her hand. The mermaid sneers. Even if your master is still alive, a quarter of an hour will pass in the blink of an eye. She will stay in the sea of sin forever and will never be reincarnated. As if to confirm what the mermaid said, a black wave comes and the floating skeleton boat is also capsized. The black tide quickly drowns it. This boat finally sinks to the bottom of the sea of sin like its master. The trembling of the bright sword has gradually calmed down. The mermaid's smile is deep in her eyes. Compared with her sadness a moment ago, her smile is gorgeous. It is more in line with the legendary mermaid who lives in the blue sea. Having lived in the sea of sin for so long, the mermaid has a deep understanding of a quarter of an hour in the sea of sin. Not more or less than a quarter of an hour. It must be exactly the same as a quarter of an hour. Intruders who don't rush out of the sea of sin will be entangled with the dark sea endlessly like skeletons at the bottom of the water. She has lived such a life for thousands of years. Today is probably the end. The mermaid raises her head. Outside the black wind in the sea of sin, there is a bright moon. When that moment comes, will the bright moonlight break through the darkness of the sea of sin and lead her to a wholly new life? As long as she thinks that she can get out of this damn place, the mermaid is excited. She raises her head and closes her eyes. Tears flow down slowly. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, the hourglass of time is leaking quietly. The tears of the mermaid have not yet turned into precious blue pearls. On the soft beach not far from the sea, a hand with a moon-white pearl tied to it stretches out. Almost at the last second, Lin Luoran, who should have been swallowed by the sea of sin, and a human cultivator, who is bound to die in the eyes of the mermaid, suddenly jumps out of the water. She collapses on the beach, gasping heavily. The mermaid turns her head in surprise. The teardrop is still hanging on the corner of her eye. The bright sword in her hand has left her hand when she is not paying attention, and returns to the arms of its master. Seeing the traces of corrosion on the bright sword caused by the water of the sea of sin, Lin Luoran can't help showing a distressed look. If the bright sword with mermaid's tears hadn't helped her distract the attention of the mermaid temporarily, Lin Luoran's plan of sneaking into the sea of sin might not have worked. Thinking that she might have stayed in the dark sea forever in less than 2 seconds, Lin Luoran feels cold all over even though she is safe now. How is it possible? How can you not die? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. The tears of joy fall from the mermaid's eyes. They turn into a blue pearl and roll into the dark sea and disappear. Because she seems to be crazy. The sea of sin is even more stormy than when Lin Luoran sailed. The black turbulent whirlpool and the tornadoes make the rocks on both sides creak. The mermaid has obviously lost her mind because of Lin Luoran's escape. Lin Luoran doesn't bother to talk to her. She dries her clothes and stands up on the beach. She is ready to go deep into the dunes. Don't go. Talk to me. Talk to me, okay? The mermaid's bitter plea comes from behind. Lin Luoran turns a deaf ear to it. She holds her skirt and disappears on the soft beach step by step. If it weren't for the series of footprints, the mermaid would even doubt whether a human female cultivator has ever passed the sea of sin safely after so many years. How is it possible? The water of the sea of sin can corrode everything and stain magic weapons. She is just a human female cultivator of the bearing essence period. Does she already have a body comparable to a magic weapon? She doesn't believe it. She doesn't believe it. What she doesn't believe is that she actually failed. Penglai is ethereal. Maybe no one will come again after another 1,000 years. The mermaid laughs desperately. No one can understand the pain of begging for death. She doesn't want to live anymore. She just wants someone to kill her. Please kill me. I'll give you many treasures on the bottom of the sea, okay? Kill me. Her bloody plea can make people cry. She is sent far away by the evil wind swirling around the beach. In fact, this is just the mermaid talking to herself. She never expects the female cultivator she tried to kill before to respond to her. Just like before, she was hopeful at the beginning and then desperate. In the end, She almost doesn't expect to leave this damn place one day. The mysterious round stone shows up. The mermaid covers her face and cries bitterly. The ugly big fish comforts her with its back. It doesn't know what to do. No one knows who first spread the rumor that as long as a scapegoat is found, the soul bound by the sea of sin can be replaced. The mermaid comes later than these souls. How can she believe it? Why doesn't this stubborn little mermaid believe in fate? Being trapped in the sea of sin is the final destination of these sinful existences. I've thought about it for a long time. There must be a reason why a person does something. We are both humble beings who come to this spirit mountain for our own purpose. Just because you can't cross the sea of sin, you won't let me go? The mermaid looks up incredulously. The human female cultivator, who should have never returned, is standing on the beach and staring at them. She seems to be thinking about a serious problem. Although she can't figure out why the human female cultivator comes back, the mermaid still feels that her eyes are sore again. She stares at the female cultivator blankly. Lin Luoran seems to have made a big decision. I mean, if it is possible for you to get out of the sea of sin, you just need to pay your faith. Do you think it's a good deal? The female cultivator in cyan dress frowns. Maybe she is not satisfied with this condition, or she hates the mermaid's original intention of killing her. In short, she is obviously reluctant to talk. However, the mermaid and even the howling apes on both sides of the sea of sin stop abruptly. The sea of sin is quiet. Everyone is tempted by the possibility in Lin Luoran's words. Chapter 378. Lin Luoran won't admit that it's her good-natured nature that makes her want to take care of the sea of sin. Well, it must be because Fire Phoenix said that purifying the resentful spirits in this sea is of great significance to the condensation of her godhead. So she came back. Offer my faith? The mermaid is stunned, the big-headed steel-toothed fish is stunned, and many demons in the sea of sin are stunned. Trapped by the sea of sin, the resentful spirits here have survived for a long time. The longest lifespan can be traced back to 10,000 years ago, when there were still true immortals in Penglai. No immortal was willing to lower his head to look at them, let alone a true immortal who planned to save them. They are all sinners, so they can't cross the sea of sin. This is the consensus of all the demons in the sea of sin. At this time, when they hear that someone promises to help them get out of this damn place, the first reaction of these demons is not joy but disbelief. Yes, I don't believe it at all. Where is this place? The sea of sin that will never enter reincarnation. Out of the 24 hours in a day, there would be 20 hours where the evil wind would blow. The evil wind would cause these souls, which had been painstakingly condensed, to scatter at the slightest discomfort. When they condensed again, the process would repeat itself. In the remaining 2 hours, the tide of the sea of sin makes the demons even more painful. The tide is sticky. Tornadoes and water whirlpools can tear these demons into pieces. Once they die, they will slowly regain their consciousness forever. When they remember the past, they will experience the pain again. There is no way to survive or die. This is the terrible thing about the sea of sin. But now a green-robed female cultivator said that she wanted to help them? The mermaid is stunned. She suppresses a trace of ridicule in her heart and asks curiously, "Compared with the belief you said, I'm more curious about how you got up from the sea of sin. The black sea of sin is corrosive." Lin Luoran smiles faintly. Anyone who has stayed in a place like the blood pool for 3 years will not be afraid of such strong seawater. However, she wanted to do a good deed, but these vengeful spirits didn't believe her, so there was nothing she could do. Lin Luoran doesn't insist. Thinking of the wonderful world she saw on the beach, she decides to explore it first. Seeing that Lin Luoran leaves without hesitation, the mermaid is stunned again. Lin Luoran doesn't play by the rules. Logically speaking, if she wants something, she should continue to persuade him. Why does she give up? Seeing that Lin Luoran is really gone, demons come out from the bottom of the sea of sin. They gather around the mermaid, whispering and expressing their opinions. Is this true or false? They keep talking, and the evil wind blows on the surface of the sea of sin again. The demons hide back to the bottom of the sea with unresolved questions. The mermaid watches Lin Luoran's back disappearing into the dense forest on the beach. The wind is coming. She grits her teeth and jumps into the sea. This green-robed female cultivator was most likely using them for fun. How hateful. Hiding under the thick black seawater, the mermaid is indignant. She will not admit that this is the anger of having a glimmer of hope extinguished. Lin Luoran doesn't have time to pay attention to the worries of these resentful spirits. Whether or not they can be saved is not something that can be solved in a day or two. She is not in a hurry. At this moment, she was still shocked by what she saw. After the Sea of Sin, there is an isolated island. It is recorded in the information given by Yang Lisha. Maybe the senior practitioner who wrote the ancient book of monsters of Wood thinks this place is not a strange place. However, Lin Luoran is still surprised when she passes by several ferns that are taller than her. Under the Kalahari Desert, she has seen mutated plants and animals that are completely different from those on the earth. However, most of them have mutated, so they are not as shocking as the scene in front of her. Lin Luoran has never been familiar with ferns since she was a child. In spring, the tips of ferns are only half a foot long. They have just emerged, and their leaves haven't come out yet. They are the most delicious food in the countryside when they are fried with bacon. Such tall ferns may have buds that are more than half a foot long. Lin Luoran thinks for a while, and digs a few of them to put in the space. Since the space became larger, she has become a plant collector. She wants to get all kinds of plants to fill the space. Lin Luoran also finds coconut-like plants on the edge of the beach. There are many ripe fruits on the ground. They are brown and round, but they are 3 times larger than the coconuts planted in the space. Lin Luoran covers her fingertips with a layer of gold wacken. With a gentle stroke, cracks appear on the surface of the round thing. She breaks it open and finds the milky white flesh with some light fragrant juice. It is indeed the coconut in her memory. Like the ferns, they are a little too big. Lin Luoran quietly transfers 2 coconut trees to the space. The species in this place are different from those in the outside world. Lin Luoran has seen the lost continent full of Reiki in the secret land of Bermuda. The plants here are full of Reiki at most, but they have never mutated like this. Lin Luoran is not sure about the abnormality of this place, so she continues to walk forward. What she sees along the way confirms her vague suspicion. A multicolored golden pheasant walked through the ferns all over the ground. Its long tail dragging on the ground was at least 2 meters long, and its comb was raised high. The way it walked with its head held high made it look like a young general who had just left the battlefield. Of course, it is also very big, far larger than ordinary pheasants. Lin Luoran still vaguely remembers that in the Mesozoic era, there were probably crocodiles and lizards. How come there are also golden pheasants? Maybe she guesses wrong. Lin Luoran continues to explore. This island is vast and boundless. She doesn't dare to explore with her spiritual mind before figuring out what is difficult to deal with. She is afraid of disturbing some mountain kings, which will lead to another fierce battle. At this time, she only explores with her legs. There is a mountain in the middle of the island that she can see from a distance. The place where Lin Luoran is now is just a buffer zone between the beach and the island land, far from the center. Lin Luoran is cautious. She only wanders around the edge for half a day. In addition to finding some unusual plants, Lin Luoran sees the golden pheasant on the way. This is fate. However, the golden pheasant may not think so. When Lin Luoran sees it again, the golden pheasant is in a mess. Its coxcomb flowers are all broken. It steps on many ferns and runs in the forest. Its claws are long and thin. It runs very fast. It seems that it is running for its life. Lin Luoran immediately uses the breath-holding spell and hides in the tree. It turns out that it is a big lizard that is chasing the golden pheasant in panic. The lizard is also 3 meters long. At first glance, it looks like a crocodile. Its body is covered with thin scales and its limbs are strong. When it runs, its tail swings from side to side, splashing dust and leaves all over the ground. The golden pheasant may be desperate. Seeing that it is about to fall into the mouth of the lizard, it flaps its wings and jumps to a big branch not far from the tree where Lin Luoran is hiding. This place is 7 or 8 meters above the ground. The golden pheasant glides with its wings, but in her memory, lizards can climb trees. It seems that the golden pheasant is not safe. Lin Luoran guesses that the golden pheasant will probably die in the end. However, the golden pheasant on the tree seems to recover. It opens its mouth and spits fire at the lizard that is trying to climb on the net. Blue fire? Lin Luoran is shocked. Even with her eyesight, she can't see that the golden pheasant is a monster. Lin Luoran's eyebrows are twitching. Subconsciously, she uses the breath-holding spell to hide. It is not strange that there are monsters on the island. What is strange is that she can't see their strength at all, as if their true faces are deliberately covered by someone. You can't see it? Even if she has no eyesight, the three guys in the space should have sensed it in advance, right? After waiting for a long time, Lin Luoran doesn't hear the three guys in the space. She feels strange and decides to leave the dense forest first. The golden pheasant can spit fire, and the lizard's thin scales are also extremely tough. The fire has no effect on it. It turns over and hits the tree angrily. It seems that the fierce battle will last quite a long time. Lin Luoran is about to quietly return to the beach, but the light above her head is suddenly blocked. She looks up and sees a flying creature that looks like a pterosaur but is definitely bigger than a pterosaur. It seems to regard the golden pheasant and the lizard who are fighting to death as prey. It hovers above the canopy of the dense forest. Lin Luoran is a little confused. Who can tell her where is this place? Why are there monsters and dinosaurs? Lin Luoran still can't see through the cultivation of this ridiculously huge pterosaur creature, even if she uses her clear eyes. This is really not a very pleasant realization. At the moment when she is distracted, the pterosaur has already swooped down. To Lin Luoran's surprise, its target is neither the golden pheasant nor the lizard, but her on the tree. Chapter 379. Holding the huge head. Lin Luoran is a bit embarrassed when she returns to the beach again. She throws away the grass at the end of her hair with her left hand. The blood of the pterosaur is scattered all over the ground. She drags the head to the beach, and then she can relax. This pterosaur's single combat ability is definitely beyond the middle period of laying foundation. Its skin is rough and its flesh is thick. Although Lin Luoran has never fought with a cultivator in the late period of laying foundation, she can still fight with it. What's more, before it died, she couldn't see through its personal ability at all. Lin Luoran underestimated it. After it died, Lin Luoran found that there was an energy center hidden in its head, so she cut off its head. The edge of the dense forest is so dangerous. Lin Luoran has to temporarily return to the beach before figuring out the strangeness of this place. The Black Sea is still rolling. Lin Luoran uses the bright sword to split the head, which weighs dozens of kilograms. She fumbles in the blood. It turns out that the energy center she can feel is a round green and blue bead. Is it a monster bolus? It seems to be completely different from the energy crystals given by Master Mu and others. Lin Luoran feels that she can absorb the energy in the monster bolus. The energy of the monster bolus is mottled. I advise you not to absorb it directly. Is it Fire Phoenix? Lin Luoran ignores the eyes of the demons in the Sea of Sin. She takes the monster bolus directly into the space. You three always brag about how powerful you are. You can't even find your shadow at the critical moment. Fire Phoenix sighs. We were careless. That place is very strange. You can meet a rank 4 monster comparable to the period of laying foundation on the outer edge. There is also a big thing in the center. You can't attract its attention if you break in alone. If we show up, you probably won't be able to leave today. Lin Luoran touches the monster bolus and is silent for a moment. I often hear about monsters and monster cultivators. How are their ranks defined? Fire Phoenix is so old that she can't say it clearly, and Silverfish doesn't have a good memory. Wood Wolf knows it best. Only those who can transform are called monster cultivators. Those who can't are all monsters. Some monsters can transform at rank 4 or 4. Monster cultivators who haven't learned arts of nature, such as wild foxes and weasels, are just ordinary little monsters. They can't show up. There are also those with unusual talents who can't transform for a long time. However, once they transform, they become big monsters. Demonic beasts could be divided into 9 ranks. 9 was the most respected, and it was said that a rank 9 demonic beast was comparable to a soul formation cultivator. Those that had surpassed the 9th rank, and had yet to take human form, were only divine beasts and immortal beasts. They could no longer be called demonic beasts. According to the division of you human cultivators, the first and second stages are equivalent to the chi refining stage, the third and fourth stages are equivalent to the foundation establishment stage, the fifth and sixth stages are equivalent to the core formation stage, the seventh and eighth stages are equivalent to the nascent soul stage, and the ninth stage is equivalent to the deity transformation stage. For the first time, Lin Luoran understands the clear classification of monsters. She is stunned. Red, the big guy in the center of the island you mentioned, is it a rank 9 monster? Fire Phoenix disdainfully curls her lips. At that time, I didn't divide these little beasts into stages. It was this wolf cub who said that. The island is so strange that Lin Luoran can't see through the cultivation of monsters with her clear eyes. She can only see through the cultivation of monsters like the pterosaur after she kills it. Just like Fire Phoenix and others can sense the rank 9 monster in the center of the island, if they show their traces on the island, that thing must be able to sense it too. Having figured this out, Lin Luoran no longer cares about the fact that Fire Phoenix and others didn't warn her on the island. She is just in the early bearing essence stage. In the eyes of the rank 9 monster, she is just a rank 5 little monster. That's why it didn't make things difficult for her when she broke into the island. The gap between their realms is too big, so it didn't regard her as an enemy worthy of attention. However, if she wants to move forward, she has to cross the island. Does she have to face the rank 9 monster directly? This idea is too discouraging. Lin Luoran has to think of a plan. She then asks if the monster bolus can't be absorbed directly. Isn't it a waste of the huge wacken? Wood Wolf smiles but says nothing. Lin Luoran can't stand its arrogance. The silverfish kindly tells her that the bolus above the rank 5 needs to be used as medicine. So, you human cultivators and monsters have been at odds since ancient times. It's not without reason. Wood Wolf shakes its head and concludes. Lin Luoran finally understands the real meaning of killing monsters and devils. In addition to the ones that are really harmful to one side, it is probably closely related to their monster bolus and materials. For example, the claws of the pterosaur should be used for refining weapons. Lin Luoran puts the rank 4 pterosaur monster bolus in space and appears on the beach. She disappears and reappears so suddenly that the demons in the Sea of Sin can't adapt to it. The mermaid is circling on the shore, and she is caught off guard by Lin Luoran's sudden appearance. Lin Luoran is still thinking about how to cross the island. She has no time to deal with the mermaid. If they believe her, they can have a fair deal. If they don't believe her, she doesn't have to be a good person. If she really wants the power of faith, she can show up several times after she goes out. She can probably get a lot of it. In this space of different dimensions, the sun rises and the moon sets as usual, just like the outside world. The night comes as scheduled. Lin Luoran sits cross-legged on the beach to meditate and cultivate. When she finishes her cultivation, the moon is already in the middle of the sky. This moon is different from the outside world. It is bright red and looks very creepy. Lin Luoran feels hungry. She takes out the huge coconut she picked up before and splits it in half. She uses the coconut shell as a pot and casually cooks something to eat. Ignoring the mermaid's fierce eyes, she sneaks into the jungle of the island again. There are only a few feathers of the golden pheasant left in the place where they fought. The confronting golden pheasant and lizard are scared away by Lin Luoran's previous battle with the pterosaur. Except for the messy footprints and feathers of the golden pheasant, the thrill of the afternoon can still be seen. The jungle at night is extremely silent. Lin Luoran can see things at night. She moves silently in the jungle. She thinks she has hidden very well, but she is still locked by a leopard when she moves less than 10 miles. The leopard that can survive here is not an ordinary leopard. Lin Luoran is disappointed. Whether it is the breath-holding spell or the mini-world, she seems to be a naked light source in the eyes of monsters on this island. The means of disguise can't work at all. The bitter thing is that monsters can see her, but she can't see through their personal ability. When she meets these monsters, She doesn't even know whether to fight or to escape. Wait, the rank 4 pterosaur is only equivalent to the personal ability of the laying foundation period. It also dares to treat her as prey. Does it mean that monsters can't see through each other's personal ability just like her? Lin Luoran soon realizes the strangeness of this island. If they can't see through each other's personal ability and the coercion of different ranks is nothing to be afraid of, then there must be many low-rank monsters challenging the high-rank monsters in order to hunt for food. The competition on this island is so fierce. No wonder the monsters she meets are all extremely belligerent. Lin Luoran thinks very quickly. The leopard has already rushed over with the wind at its feet. The strength of the pterosaur is flexibility and speed. Lin Luoran is caught off guard and suffers a little loss. She can't see through the personal ability of this leopard, so she doesn't dare to be careless. She uses extremely sharp sword skills as soon as she comes up. The leopard's claws carry wind and ice and snow. After a flash, Lin Luoran finds that a big tree beside her is frozen and cracked. What a powerful ice claw! However, Lin Luoran immediately realizes that both of them are using the water spells. She uses fire spells to fight against the leopard, and gets the upper hand after a few rounds. After 3 or 4 moves, Lin Luoran knows that this leopard of the water is probably at the rank 4, no higher than the personal ability of the laying foundation period. Lin Luoran is relieved. Low-rank monsters are not very intelligent. They are lured away by her feint and are finally killed by Lin Luoran with a fire arrow. The arrow of light can be used to fight against enemies of a higher rank. It is not too difficult to use it to deal with a rank 4 monster. Lin Luoran doesn't hesitate to dig out monster boluses and continue to move forward. Lin Luoran returns to the beach at dawn. Her face is full of exhaustion. Her hair is messy and her clothes are covered with blood. Most of them are monsters' blood, and some are hers. This night, she only moves forward for less than 100 miles. On the way, she has encountered 9 monsters that actively attack her. The lowest one is a rank 1 fire rabbit. The last one is a winged tiger. Lin Luoran suspects that it is at least a rank 6 monster. She only digs out 8 monster boluses. After a night of exhaustion, she can hardly escape from the winged tiger. The spreading mountains are still in the depth of the island. Looking from afar, there is only a vague outline under the sky. Roughly speaking, it is at least hundreds of miles away. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.